Humi's pervasive purple firmament 9 palaces flying swords fired countless bursts of light. They were like shooting stars, launched towards every single one of Li Taisui's pressure points, completely sealing every single angle and blind spot that Humi could think of with flying swords. Purple sword light radiated, winding around. The sword array took shape, the peak of an encirclement. Even a similarly ranked cultivator would find it hard to contend against another Supervoid cultivator's sword array. Li Taisui's eyes held an aloofness that seemed to mock her. The paper fan in his hand gently waved. An autumn breeze rose and thunderbolts fell, countering the incoming sword lights. The paper fan shook. He was thinking of counterattacking, but Humi had taken the dominant position. How could she be so lax? She formed hand seals, and the sword array's attack power was then unexpectedly like a tidal wave, continuous. The sword lights that filled the sky revolved about, like countless snowflakes drifting down. Humi had the intent to force Li Taisui into use the magic weapon at the top of the spirit sealing list, the good fortune prayer mat. She held nothing back, using every trick and ability she had. Thus, her heavenly spirit astral treasure, parting star ring, Fecta divine light, too, and other abilities were used in succession. Little girl, these are good tricks. Li Taisui leisurely smiled. All of a sudden, his eyes exploded with a severe radiance. The paper fan waved downwards, and the ground thundered. A gigantic animal-shaped arc of lightning formed. Its thunderlight was glistening, the arcs of electricity like dragons. The old man commanded it to go forth. The thunderlight flashed, and Humi's omnidirectional sword array and other powers were completely broken. The thunder beast's aggression made Humi vomit blood, and the girl's eyes showed grimness. So powerful. Even a top-notch star master would have difficulty contending against a star master like this. Just what kind of monster is he? Humi barely stabilized her body. She released a protective, Fecta divine light, to shield her body. In her mind, she asked, Jingshu, if there was no Tai spherical heaven form array, what are your odds of victory? This old man's star general is of unclear background, but she appears to be very powerful. I fear she will not be very easy to deal with. Su Jingshu looked like a calm maiden, a gentle and tranquil woman, amidst a storm as she watched the thunder light. Even the proud guardian star had a grave tone. Humi grunted. This old man's strength was unfathomable, so much so that he did not take one step away from where he sat on the prayer mat as he warded off all of her attacks. It was also clear that the paper fan in his hand was a powerful magic weapon. Perhaps Su Jingshu could have a chance if she comprehended her heaven rank or used her earth rank at an unexpected moment, but this old man's experience was boundless, terrifyingly astute. To catch him off guard was undoubtedly the sleep talk of an idiot, and it appeared he did not currently have the occasion to use his full power. Now, perhaps only the purple thunder monster could possibly compare to him. Thinking fast as lightning, all of a sudden, Humi felt her entire body go numb. From inside the star nest, Su Jingshu shouted, Humi, look out. Humi was taken aback and lifted her head. The sound of thunder and fierce winds rolled into her face. Li Taisui suddenly vanished from atop the mat, pouncing forth as if he was a dragon. Humi, in her shock, completely did not anticipate this. While the old man's face wore a benign smile, his left index finger advanced to tap a spot on Humi's chest. This finger was like a divine soldier directly striking her heart. Humi's whole body was ice cold. At this time, the girl was already without any chance to resist. In the thunder and wind, Humi heard the old man's assertion. This old man shall take your life. That old man really is a monster, to have such powerful force. Fortunately, he is not our enemy right now. There was a crowd of people several dozen li away. Those people were dressed in black robes and armor, their baleful auras skyrocketing, up to the extent that all of their surroundings seemed to be covered in a gloom. The man leading these people spoke. He wore clothes as black as ink, was just about 20 in age, with sharp brows and bright eyes. In his handsomeness was a clear coldness, like an unsheathed sword displayed in its splendor, a difficult-to-forget impression. Li Taisui and Humi's battle was far too unreasonable. Even from this far away, they could sense the pressure. However, it was precisely because of this old man's powerful aura of qi that the man felt that even Humi was not worth a mention. In his heart, he naturally determined that a star master who fought Li Taisui was as good as dead. Lord husband, he is not an enemy now, but afterwards. Could we be as lucky? Xingqiao does not like weak men. The man was none other than Holy Lord of Draconic Demon. At his side was a girl. Her spotlessly white hands held a cup of wine as she walked in front of him, her long and slender fingers resting on the porcelain. The wine in the cup was a dark green brew, beautiful as well. The woman had a lovely and charming grace, with an endless loveliness as she looked around and spoke. This woman was like her name, Su Xingqiao. 3. Her jade body had a fresh fragrance, a faint scent. The Devil Star Palace originally sought out Star Master Shiyu to cultivate the Devil Star One movement, dual cultivation art, to greatly bolster the Holy Lord of Draconic Demons' cultivation. However, it was nevertheless because of Su Xing that the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon cut a very sorry figure returning the way he came. Afterwards, they begrudgingly searched the Black Turtle territory without restraint for a Star Master. The Devil Star Palace's reputation was illustrious and celebrated in the Black Turtle territory, but that did not help much. And because Great Saint Starkiller had betrayed an allied Star Master, the current Devil Star Palace repulsed everyone. However, they did not expect that a woman would nevertheless come searching for them. She was Su Xingqiao. Xingqiao, what realm is your Devil Star One movement at? When can we practice it? Holy Lord of Draconic Demon looked at the girl's shapely figure, gritting his teeth. What is Lord Husband worried for? The fifth stage still has not started, correct? Could it be you are afraid that Xingqiao will run away? Xingqiao already calls you Lord Husband. Su Xingqiao faintly smiled, assuming a seductive manner. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon was not afraid of Su Xingqiao having some ulterior motive. She was currently being doted upon by the Black Turtle Territory's Devil Sect. The treatment she received was immeasurably greater than what she received before. Her 3-star destined weapon was even upgraded to 5-star, and she even received a prehistoric spirit treasure, the 5 Elements ring that was ranked 19th on the spirit ceiling list. Of course, the condition for all of this was that Su Xingqiao would willingly be branded with a complete destruction forbid dance in her body by Devil Ancestor Dark Nether. 5. Even the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon felt this forbid dance was disgusting, shunning it to no end. If we want a place in the star duels, then we must work together. This is beneficial for the both of us. The Devil Star One movement art, so long as you and I have deep trust, will allow us to reach perfect harmony. Black and yellow are indistinguishable, water and milk are inseparable. In the future, the legendary Heaven Earth Dark Yellow skills of Star Master can be possible. Then, we will inevitably make the Purple Thunder Monster and that Water Illusion Fairy pay the price. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon's eyes showed killing intent. Su Xingqiao smiled without saying anything. With such a great situation, it is a pity the Purple Thunder Monster escaped, truly a great pity. Su Xingqiao looked around at the surroundings. Now, the White Tiger 7 Spirit Stars are already slaughtering the other Star Masters. Lord Husband, will you not do anything? The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon looked around. He had no interest in meddling with the battle of the Star Masters. The 3 Wands Water Fort was not easy to handle, for the Water Fort disciples had established a powerful formation to protect Ruan Jiner and Ruan Mayer. Also, Ruan Jiner's surroundings had countless black butterflies dancing about. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon recognized these as Ming Dai's Hell Fantasy Death Butterfly Flying Swords. To face them was truly troublesome. Heaven knew what other flying sword abilities that this sword star had. Of course, there was another reason, and that was there was only one person that the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon focused his hatred on, the Purple Thunder Monster. But the Purple Thunder Monster being seemingly absent from the banquet made him slightly irritated. Then let us seize the opportunity to kill that Pilgrim Wusong and those other star generals then. It seems she does not have a contract. Killing that knowledge star and the purple thunder monster's other star generals back to the star nest will satisfy the hatred in my heart. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon grunted. He was not at all aware that Wu Xingjie had lost her virginity. He did not have too much interest in a star general that could return to the star nest upon death. Thus, he was even more resentful of the Wu Xiao who stood on the purple thunder monster's side. Will you elders not take action? The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon looked back and asked the elders standing behind him. The Devil Star Palace's 4 great law protectors were all in attendance, however, Elder Dried Bone, Corpse Devil Ruthlessness, and True Lord Heavenly Commandment were all unmoved. Holy Lord, the star duels are something we are not to interfere in. Elder Dried Bone smiled. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon nodded in understanding. It appeared that the prehistoric Liao Emperor's defeat was inevitable. If Chao Gai was to investigate the Tai spherical heaven form array, things would be bad. I will go. Just as the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon and Su Xingxiang were about to go forth, suddenly, the always gloomy and silent Fiend Star coldly spoke. Fellow Fiend Star, do not be impulsive. Elder Dried Bone advised. This will not implicate Devil Ancestor nor the Devil Star Palace. Fiend Star will bear all the consequences. The man coldly said. Your servant feels that confronting several star generals trapped in an array will make Snaiur Fiend Star's actions contrarily hurt the Devil Star Palace's face. Just allow Lord Husband and your servant go take care of this. If later the Purple Thunder monster emerges from hiding for a sneak attack, then please assist, Senior. Su Xingxiang's tone was gentle, soft to the bone. Even the Devil Star Palace's great law protectors went limp. Fiend Star snorted, as if he did not feel anything. This made Su Xingxiang a bit surprised. What Xingxiang is very correct. Headmaster does not want to allow the Azure Dragon territory to see the Black Turtle territory's #1 Devil Palace as being exploitative. True Lord Heavenly Commandment said. Fellow Fiend Star, I feel that you ought to listen to Xingxiang's words. Fiend Star understands. Fiend Star's voice emotionlessly answered. Holy Lord of Draconic Demon and Su Xingxiang used their flying swords to make their way towards the Knowledge Star with brewing murderous intent. Along the way, Su Xingxiang glanced at Fiend Star, a peculiar luster in her eyes. She asked without any feeling, Lord Husband, this Fiend Star is the Devil Star Palace's newly inducted law protector? He does not seem to be an ordinary cultivator. He is indeed unordinary. However, as for his identity, wife will naturally find out in the future. At that time, he will not allow wife to be full of pleasant surprise. Husband can guarantee that. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon seemingly smiled. Seeing there was a deeper meaning to Holy Lord of Draconic Demon's words, Su Xingxiang fell into contemplation with an odd expression. Jima. Several escape lights flew out from a temple in this plain and unadorned town along the shore of the East Sea. The escape lights flashed, making the residents of the entire Jima city feel a powerful pressure. The sky seemed to envelop the city like Mount Tai. Dogs stopped barking, and the vegetation seemed to stiffen. It made the people unable to breathe think they had reached the end of days. Fortunately, this type of pressure lasted merely an instant. Those rays of escape lights moved past the east side of Jima city. A few moments later, they vanished into the crashing white waves of the East Sea, and only then did the city recover its calm. The residents farmed, the grasses bent with the wind, everything was as before. But some cultivators in the city were nevertheless shocked. Just now, that was the spiritual pressure of a Supervoid cultivator, too terrifying. I think I saw 3 silhouettes. 3 Supervoid cultivators? Everyone took a deep breath. 3 Supervoid cultivators simultaneously rushing towards someplace impatiently, everyone suddenly felt chills. At the center of the East Sea, the winds were calm. The escape lights topped, revealing a man, 2 girls and a dragon boat. They were Su Xing, Gong Kaiwei, Zhao Hanyan, and in the dragon boat were Lin Yingmei, and Suwen, Hunyangzi and the others. Peering into the center of the East Sea, suddenly, Su Xing's head hurt. Su Xing, what is the matter? Zhao Hanyan asked in concern. Su Xing's brow locked tight, and his eyes showed frightening murderous intent. Tang Tang returned to the star nest. Zhao Hanyan had yet to meet Rat Star by Yutang. Hearing Su Xing's words, she was subconsciously amazed. Could it be that Su Xing contracted yet another star general? She had wanted to ask, but seeing Su Xing's ice-cold expression, she let the question remain in her heart. Bai Yutang has entered the star nest. It appears that the Crystal Dragon Palace is far more dire than I had imagined. Gong Kaiwei said. Seeing that she was apparently more familiar with Su Xing's matters than she herself, Zhao Hanyan's heart was somewhat jealous, but her expression was still unfazed as she said, "But how should we go down?" Staring at the boundless East Sea, they were currently at somewhat of a predicament. The scene that appeared before them was the East Sea seemingly being congealed into motionlessness. Let alone the year-round ocean breeze, even the flow of water had disappeared. It was as if the sea had been frozen, and even the air was stagnant. The group attempted to penetrate the ocean surface, yet they seemed to be hindered by something invisible. No matter how much strength they exerted, they could not move an inch. This must be the Crystal Dragon Palace's 24 connecting heaven-ocean settling pearls. A self-contained barrier, no one comes in and no one gets out. Dong Junqing muttered. There is also the Tai spherical heaven form array. One was the connecting heaven-ocean settling barrier, and the other was the Tai spherical heaven form array that was able to render star generals powerless. 2 barriers, this was simply an astonishing trick. In 1,000 years of star duels, there was never such time for a complete slaughter like this, right? Gong Sun Huang blinked. She raised and pointed her pine-brand ancient sword and activated half-destroyed landscape, a magic capable of breaking arrays, but under this connecting heaven-ocean settling effect, the mountain-toppling half-destroyed landscape was unexpectedly flabby, not even the slightest bit useful. Just when everyone was stumped, Earthly Leader Star resourceful strategist Zhu Sha, the woman who is emotionless as a mountain, finally spoke. Allow your servant. Zhu Sha, can you? Gong Kaiwei was not without worry. Although the resourceful strategist possessed the strongest array abilities among the 108 star maidens, they had already heard her explain the formidable aspects of the Tai spherical heaven form array, this type of nightmare array that could restrain star generals. As a star general, Zhu Sha's capability to break it was an unknown. The connecting heaven-ocean settling barrier is a prehistoric barrier, sheltering the Dragon Palace for 1,000 years. If it is destroyed at this time, I fear the casualties will be disastrous. Zhao Hanyan's brow furrowed. For the Dragon Palace that was 10,000 li under the sea to lose the protection of the connecting heaven-ocean settling barrier, not only would the Crystal Dragon Palace become dust, the people inside would inevitably die. Zhu Sha nodded. The Earthly Leader's star appeared to be very clear that matters at hand were exceptionally intractable. Zhu Sha hovered in the air, her 5 elements weather banner unfurling. The 5-sided banner became 5 rays of auspicious light, linking together into one chi. It sublimated into the ocean settling barrier, and then, the girl chanted. Her forehead's star crest shimmered. The boundless East Sea displayed a multicolored array. Upon seeing it, Gong Kaiwei knew that Zhu Sha was currently seeking the connecting heaven-ocean settling pearl's weak point. Consequently, she did not hesitate to use resonance, pouring all of her star energy into Zhu Sha. The Earthly Leader star Zhu Sha received the star energy of the Supervoid stage Star Master, and her cultivation and realm dramatically increased. The array's light was even brighter. When Su Xing and Zhao Hanyan saw this, they guarded Gong Kaiwei from the left and right so as to avoid the girl being sneak attacked. At the same time, Lin Yingmei and Hun Yangzi guarded Zhu Sha while Ensuan used spiritual aura distribution to replenish Zhu Sha's spiritual energy. After a certain amount of time, the crimson light in Zhu Sha's eyes was boundless. Every sort of differently shaped seal and script churned like tadpoles in the East Sea. The 5 elements weather banner became 5 types of 5 elements arrays. Each was interlocked, profound beyond compare. Then they heard Zhu Sha's voice that was as cold as stone. Sisters, your servant will use her earth rank to break this barrier. However, your servant needs to borrow sister's strength. Attack together, and only then will we be able to open a path. Zhu Sha slowly said. Lin Yingmei and the others understood. Their destined star weapons successively entered their hands, assuming a formation. Zhu Sha's voice began to become sonorous. The cauldron uses heaven and earth, medicine must have crow and rabbit, put in the refined golden pellet at any time. A tiger roar in the water, a crimson dragon coils in the fire. Further, liquid lead shakes mercury. From the valley up to the mixed pellet. Matters of suns, water and fire recover disgrace, return to age adopting childish countenance. The 5 elements, all 4 symbols, no reconciliation at the crux, as suspended as leisure. 6 days as the stars indicate, Jade leaves Mount Kuan. The motionless fine clouds and rain, at any place in no time, straight through 3 passes. Inside the yellow court, a sun returns, and the pellet takes time. When she finished speaking, when she uttered the last word, the entire blue East Sea suddenly radiated 5 lights. Then, the 5-sided 5 elements became a flagpole that flashed with a serenely strange luster. The silken flag used golden thread that filled with odd talisman script. Then, this banner spun, and a thin ray of magic energy enveloped the entire East Sea. The 5 elements arrays combined into one, releasing resplendent light onto a certain area, trapping the array like a spiderweb. Afterwards, the deathly quiet sea finally showed an anomaly. The ocean surface showed clear golden light on the horizon, brighter and brighter. Then, a beautiful ball of light appeared as if a moon was rising out of the sea. Su Xing and Zhao Hanyan showed amazed expressions. Gong Caiwei's body shuddered. Clearly, the connecting heaven-ocean settling pearls were very powerful. Even using resonance was taxing on the girl's strength. Gradually, she became increasingly pained, and she was already nearing her limit. At this moment, Gong Caiwei felt her hand warm. Su Xing gripped her hand. For one reason, he used an aspect of the heart-like mirror absolute sincerity soul technique's realm to transmit strength to Gong Caiwei, making the girl's pain abate. She recovered her calm, and the other was to give the girl a feeling of safety. A comforting warmth poured into her mind. Gong Caiwei's heart warmed. She lightly bit her red lips, and her pale complexion showed a slight blush. Little sis Caiwei, do not fail our kindness. At the same time, Zhao Hanyan slightly smiled as she held her other hand. Gong Caiwei grunted, and her eyes glowed brightly. Zhu Sha shouted, and the sea shook. She had resonated with Gong Caiwei to the limit. The bright moon suddenly broke. With an enormous boom, the ocean settling barrier finally cracked. The earthly leader star's earth rank array. Bright full moon fills heaven and earth. 2. When they saw that a hole appeared in Liangshan continent's peerless connecting heaven-ocean settling barrier under Zhu Sha's powerful barrier, Lin Yingmei and the rest did not hesitate to raise their weapons and charge towards that moon. Their figures were like swords, swift as lightning. Freezing frost of 9 provinces. Flying star magpie dance. Half-destroyed landscape. Su Xing and Zhao Hanyan simultaneously tossed magic weapons and abilities at that bright moon. Under the assault of several star maidens, the cracking connecting heaven-ocean settling barrier had another slight hole torn into it, but it was nevertheless difficult to pry it open with the final strike. Seeing the connecting heaven-ocean settling barrier was about to recover, Lin Yingmei's brow wrinkled tightly. She decided to use her earth rank, Ice Heart Seal's sun and moon, to break it, but just at this moment, a ray of golden light fell, coming from the far east. With a lion's roar, the golden light brought the power of 10,000 troops to break through. 3. The powerful martial force struck the center of the bright moon. One final hole at last broke it open. The crystal dragon palace immediately opened before their eyes. Su Xing and the others were taken aback. The golden light receded, and a beautiful woman appeared riding a golden qilin. Her hand held a golden lance. Her brow was picturesque, and she glowed continuously. Did Shower catch up to this banquet at just the right time, eh? Su Xing. The girl turned her head back and smiled. Su Xing slightly smiled and nodded. The newcomer was the number 1 in martial force, strength star Jade Qilin Lu Xiao and her dark rank technique. Cavalry breaks apart 1,000 militaries. Turning back the clock a bit. To speak of Xuanla Feifei in the Crystal Dragon Palace. Mu Jiyu and Mu Wuyu under the Tai spherical heaven form array had their true identities exposed even though they were traces of true spirits. The assassin sisters were astonished and looked at each other in bewilderment. This Tai spherical heaven array is so incredible. Just what is this thing, to unexpectedly even affect us to an extent? Mu Wuyu clicked her tongue. Maiden Mountain hides many things. Xuanla Feifei smiled and said. Did you not already ascend Maiden Mountain? Just what is up there anyways? Mu Duing blinked curiously, her room Black Panther at her side. Although they had been trapped in the array, she did not have any sense of danger at all, and neither did she have any slightest bit of wariness. She was nearly completely oblivious that there were already cultivators in the surroundings targeting her. Whereas her elder sister Mu Qingying's cold posture, the killing intent stringing out from her fingers, emitted a powerful pressure. This stark contrast between the assassin sisters suddenly made Xuanla Feifei feel that if she could truly make each and every one of their movements complement one another, then perhaps they truly could be unrivaled. Mu Duing's words made Bing Qingxian show curious expressions. Just what was atop Maiden Mountain? Opinions differed. The greatest legend was that it was the Star World after transforming Star of Annihilation, but just what that was, no one could say for sure. They could only imagine. Consequently, the Star Duels received all of Liangshan continent's attention. To be able to cut down on a few hundred, maybe even 1,000, years of cultivation, to directly witness Star World from the peak of Maiden Mountain at the Seven Stars Assembly, this was perhaps the dream of every cultivator. The Seven Stars Assembly is from being that simple. Xuanla Feifei showed contemplation. She lowered her head in thought, and her eyes for a time were blank, and then they were filled with an ominous glint at others. They changed constantly, however, in her trace of true spirit status, Xuanla Feifei could not remember too clearly. Did you appear in order to confront the Purple Thunder monster? Bing Qingxian continued to ask. The man was full of expectation. This Purple Thunder monster is truly defiant of the natural order. He has unexpectedly contracted so many star generals, Maiden Mountain should have dealt with him long ago. Xuanla Feifei refused to answer. She merely smiled and said, rather than wonder how he is able to contract so many star generals, is it not better to ponder upon why the likes of Lin Chong and Wu Song would follow him? That monster must have used a despicable trick, not worth mentioning. Bing Qingxian said gloomily. Mu Wuyu chortled. As an assassin, she felt that Bing Qingxuan's phrasing was honestly somewhat ridiculous. And why have we not seen you use this type of despicable trick? Mu Jiyu said. Bing Qingxuan twitched his lips, not saying a word. However, as an assassin, what have you to fear? The more star generals he has is not necessarily better for him. Could it be you still want a direct confrontation with him? Xuanla Feifei sneered at him. Your servant engraves Fairy's words to memory. Bing Qingxian cupped his fist. Xuanla Feifei grunted, the assassination art that I will impart to you next is something that Jiyu and Wuyu devised. This fairy sees you are very intelligent and is confident that with a little comprehension, you definitely will not fail to live up to our painstaking labors. That Purple Thunder monster cannot bring trouble to you. Wu Song, Lin Chong, Gong Sun Sheng, Yan Qing, and Dao Quan and even Tang Long, speaking of these names, Xuanla Feifei smiled. The fairy shook her head. Not only did he have powerful attack star generals, even top-notch supportive spiritual energy star generals like Dao Quan and Tang Long were in his camp. No wonder Bing Qingxian was so unsightly. After this banquet, this fairy shall help you dispatch him. Xuanla Feifei indifferently said. After hearing Xuanla Feifei's promise, Bing Qingxian was delighted from the bottom of his heart. He promptly said, so long as Fairy kills the purple thunder monster, those star generals of his can be left to Qingqiao. This is the perfect test for the assassination art that Fairy wants to impart. Xuanla Feifei's lips slightly curled. As expected, he was a shameless man. To unexpectedly think of exploiting her in order to seize his chance at consuming the star energy of several top-notch star generals. However, this was what she had wished for, and there was nothing rash in exerting a final effort for the Mu sister assassins. You must remember this. Xuanla Feifei reminded Mu Duang. The latter was somewhat inattentive and seemed to not have heard anything. Huh? Liangshan and the purple thunder monster are related? Mu Duang was confused. Mu Huiyu was just about to ridicule her. All of a sudden, Mu Huiyu cast a chilling glance at one of the surrounding corners. Is something the matter? Elder sister? Mu Huiyu asked. It seems as if something was spying on us just now. Mu Huiyu said coldly. Mu Huiyu smiled and said, Elder sister is just oversensitive. With so many cultivators and star masters, is spotting us not very normal? However, Huiyu will not mind killing those people. Xuanla Feifei suddenly sneered, the Azure Dragon has suffered crushing defeat. Meanwhile, the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon and Su Xingqiang finally made their move against Wu Xinjie and the others. Although they appeared to not have their contractor Su Xing nearby, across all of the Crystal Dragon Palace, this Star Master's power was contrarily the strongest. Even if Harm Star Wu Xiao had the Pilgrim's array, the Pilgrim was unable to take a step inside the array, but each of the Star Maiden Star Beasts were summoned, making all the cultivators stunned. Wu Xiao's white and black unicorn tiger, Hua Wanyue's heavenly hero One Phoenix, Wu Xinjie's nine-tailed spirit fox, Zhang Yuqi's urgent sea white spirit python, not one of these did not make those cultivators proceed rashly. Furthermore, the knowledge star resourceful star Wu Xinjie's 8 gates black gold chains were capable of autonomous movement even while she was trapped by the array. They were completely unaffected. Meanwhile, the water illusion fairy and Han Bing were already engaged in battle. The two of them were both impressive Supervoid star masters. Each of their strengths, magic weapons, and cultivation were all equally matched. The sword light of the heavenly paradise water moon matte-marked flying swords formed an odd flower pattern that clashed with Han Bing's 33 dark sky star frost sword lights. The only things visible were bursts of cold air and fluttering snowflakes. Han Bing's was an immemorial sword chant, far stronger than Shi Yu's. The flying swords fought fiercely, and the bone-chilling cold that passed through the sword tips directly reached the young girl's heart. Shi Yu was in constant suffering. Han Bing was as cold as ice. She pointed her hand. The evil cleanup knife unleashed a green light that twisted towards Wu Xiao. Han Bing knew that Wu Song had yet to sign a contract, and the first thought on her mind was to kill this terrifying pilgrim. The white and black unicorn tiger released white light and pounced, but heaven-shaking Thunder Liangshan's star beast was a tiger-like beast with wings. It was a fierce beast of rolling thunder known as Poor Thunderclap. Its voice was like a roll of thunder, and it could spit thunderbolts. Poor Thunderclap and Little White rolled about. The evil cleanup knife circled around again through the gaps in the 8 gates black gold chain towards Wu Xiao. The cool and elegant pilgrim remained composed. Just as she was about to be cut down by the blade, all of a sudden, the shadow of a ruler appeared around Wu Xiao. Shi Yu had used the dual modes ruler just in time. The ruler shadow spun about Wu Xiao and the others. For a time, the world seemed to flip around, spinning along with the dual modes, striking down the evil cleanup knife. Han Bing's expression was even colder. Why would you protect her? You clearly know that Wu Song and the Purple Thunder Monster have a deep relationship. In the future overlordship, do you think he will protect you? Shi Yu faintly smiled. This is something between milord and lowly servant. 2. What does it concern you? Milord? Han Bing's expression shifted, somewhat astonished. That Purple Thunder Monster truly has astounding tricks. I do not know what bewitchment he used, but he has not only fooled those star generals, but he has even convinced a star master like you to sell him your life. Han Bing is truly quite astonished. Experience lowly servant first, then talk. Shiyu shouted. She raised another magic weapon. The blood spider seal suddenly enlarged. An enormous blood shadow of a spider seemingly scuttled towards Han Bing. When the blood seal was released, the surrounding cold air condensed bloody frost. Han Bing coldly glanced at it and waved an extended hand. The 33 Dark Sky Star Frost Sword became 2 rays of sword light that flanked it from the left and right. Cold light illuminated, and the blood spider was cut apart by the sword light. As expected of an immemorial sword chant, the moment a sword array appeared, the blood spider seal was frozen solid. Such a stubborn star master, just retreat from the star duels. Han Bing paused. Wu Xinjie entered the 8 gates black gold chain. The black gold chains linked and wrapped around, assuming the form of the stars as they scattered around all of the girls. It paired with Shiyu's dual modes ruler. Now, there was no fear of somebody else sneak attacking. The knowledge star expressionlessly looked at the battlefield in front of her. Although the White Tiger 7 spirit stars were each in their own battles, Wu Xinjie nevertheless knew that these White Tiger 7 spirit stars wanted to defeat each of the others and then finally unite to attack the girls, to obtain the greatest benefit in these star duels. Wu Xinjie was considering this at the current moment. Elder sister. Thief Star Shi Yuan called out and interrupted Wu Xinjie's thoughts. How was it? Wu Xinjie raised her head. Shi Yuan winked, a knowing expression. Her 3 burrows crafty rabbit kneaded its face as it sat on her shoulder. Wu Xinjie smiled, a north wind that was like a blade. No one could guess what the knowledge star was thinking. Die, all of you. Suddenly at this moment, the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon and Su Xingxiang already attacked. The 9 phantasms 10 banes capital demon swords demon shadows emerged in great numbers, like thousands of wisps of wretched smoke. They pounced like demons, immediately joining Han Bing's side. Tang Tang, quickly return to the star nest. Wu Xinjie issued orders without the slightest hesitation. Bearing the brunt, the rat star by Yutang next to Zhang Yuqi blinked her bright eyes. She listened to the knowledge star's words, and her star crest immediately flashed on her forehead. Her figure dispersed like smoke. Just like this, she vanished from the array, leaving the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon dumbstruck. Self-star release. But the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon completely did not sense that wretchedness from a star release. Generally speaking, even if she had star released, there would be an outflow of a lot of star energy. This star energy was categorized as a portion of a star maiden's power and could be absorbed by a star maiden, so it could be said that although a star release could return to a star nest, the damage was very serious. What happened? Su Xingxiang also felt this was strange. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demons' first thought was that the Purple Thunder monster was nearby, but no matter where he looked, he could not see the Purple Thunder monster's figure at all. However, this Purple Thunder monster could appear and disappear at any time. Everyone in Liangshan knew this. If there was an Oriole behind them, things would be troublesome. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon hesitated for a moment. That rat star by Yutang can brew strange wines. Perhaps that wine is the cause. Su Xingxiang stared at the girls. The girl who was as fine as a hair immediately noticed that many star maidens in front of her emitted a lustrous glow. No mistake, this was none other than Bai Yutang's dark rank wine, yearning day and night. This wine could allow a star general to return to the star nest without any restrictions. Of course, there was a certain price, and this price was that after return to the star nest, they would be unable to voluntarily leave for a certain amount of time. And it was because of this that Wu Xinjie and the others were secure in the knowledge they had backing even while trapped by this array that restrained them. Your Honor, you also return to the star nest. Wu Xinjie ordered. No way, this young lady doesn't want to be teased by Su Xing. Shi Yuan puffed her cheeks. Then die. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon sneered. Shi Yuan made a face, and her puppet immediately rocketed into the sky. Shi Jiuing slaughtered enthusiastically. His true body was a 1,000-year-old life-killing tree. This tree grew in dark and moist places, and it was specialized in devouring every type of wild animal. Commonly, some demon beasts would be eaten, bones and all, if they drew near. It could be said to be extremely cruel. After exposing his true body, Shijiu Ying's cruel personality was even more unrestrained. Abilities utilized at nearly Supervoid middle stage could not be resisted by ordinary cultivators. Very quickly, the cultivators were defeated one after another, dying one after another, suffering grievous injuries. The Azure Dragon territory truly is a place full of trash. Shijiu Ying sneered, his demon chi moved unhindered, and his tree trunk opened several dozen eyes, scanning all of his surroundings for targets. Suddenly, a star general trapped by the array entered his vision. That star general sat in a restaurant of the Dragon Palace. She originally had been savoring wine, but the tiny spherical heaven form array made her very troubled. It appeared that she did not sign a contract and was alone. On her shoulder was a tiger looking about. Shijiu Ying laughed. This perfectly suited his tastes, and he quickly moved towards her. The trapped star general was the ranked 101st star female tiger Gu Tong. Because she was not like Li Shuangfei and the others who were under the uprising, Gu Tong was also traveling alone. The Crystal Dragon Palace had suddenly caught her unprepared. Fortunately, the restaurant's position was not conspicuous, a temporary fortune for her. However, in the end, she was still discovered by Shijiu Ying. Gu Tong bit her lip. The star beast, tiger upon the shoulder, opened its tiger mouth and bared its fangs. It roared, the powerful sound waves directly shaking apart the sharp leaves Shijiu Ying had fired, but to obstruct a Supervoid cultivator's approach, this was nothing more than an idiot's sleep talk. Shijiu Ying lunged. Like blades, his branches sliced at her. Gu Tong sighed in her heart, shutting her eyes in despair. Just at this moment, a token hovered above Gu Tong's head. This token flashed with 4 golden lights, covering Gu Tong's whole body in the luster of colored glass. A warmth flowed into her limbs. Bang! Shijiu Ying's attack was unable to pierce through the golden light barrier at all. Red ink iron certificate. Shijiu Ying was stunned. Xinger, bestow him 1,000 gold. Chai Ling smiled sweetly. The three-eyed wealth-inviting cat's third eye opened and fired a beam of copper and gold phantoms at Shijiu Ying. It was just like a magic weapon. Noble star, you are courting death. Shijiu Ying sneered. Seeing that Chai Lin had lost her red ink iron certificate, greedy thoughts were born in his mind. He concentrated all of his magic energy to attack Chai Ling. Little whirlwind Chai Ling covered the pretty smile on her red lips with the golden thread feather fan. The purple star astral treasure moon seizing star taking glowed with the magnificent splendor of the moon and stars. 7 stars flashed and directly protected Chai Ling. At this time, his star beast was tossed continuously away, and Shijiu Ying's branches and leaves leaked blood as he was repelled. You! This was the first time she had seen this legendary noble star little whirlwind Chai Jin. Gu Tong was somewhat shaken, for she had never thought this elder sister who was placed outside the star duels would surprisingly give up the red ink iron certificate to save her. Since you are Tang Tang's mama, this palace may as well help you. Chai Ling seemingly smiled. She glanced at Gu Tong, her expression containing an indescribable charm. Chai Ling was naturally very clear about Su Xing's trifles at the Spring Breeze Drunken Rain Pavilion. The current Yin Star and Su Xing's relationship was apparently somewhat unclear, but seeing that she did not have the uprising condition, Chai Ling thus helped her. To make that man owe her a favor was not a bad thing. Noble star, a wise man submits to the circumstances. If you join us now, we can still let bygones be bygones. Shijiu Ying coldly said. This palace shall keep her hands clean and will not wallow in filth with you. Under the moon seizing star taking, Chai Ling could move as she pleased in the array. The queen grunted. Jinji, Yuya, and the other female cultivators of the Great Circle Castle raised their sword chants. A fragrant breeze swept, and sword wind rustled. Shijiu Ying shook. Tree leaves flew out, filling the skies and descending to the ground with a foul black, the presence of bone-gnawing ghosts. Quickly take her away. Chai Ling shouted. Jinji and Yuya obeyed. They seized Gu Tong and quickly withdrew. Imperial Empress, be careful. Chai Ling seemed to bathe in stars. The moon seizing star taking was unleashed at maximum output. The noble star's expression was grim, moving backward step by little step. Where can you run to in this place, just die. Shi Jiaoying laughed. A black cheese sprinkled forth that enveloped Chai Ling. Chai Ling slightly stared. This demonkin honestly was not easy to handle. Dungyo. At a certain place in the Crystal Dragon Palace, a heart-wrenching scream resounded. The innately irascible Sikong Dungyo stared dumbstruck at the Xiang Qingqing who had suddenly appeared in front of her. Xiang Qingqing's true body was a rhinoceros demon beast of glistening golden armor, the luminous golden scorch. 2. It received this name from the speed of its charge that was capable of burning sand and dirt into ash. The Sikong sisters and Su Yixiao's alliance against this supervoid demon beast was already at the end of its rope. The Sikong Dungyo of an impetuous personality was oppressed stiflingly. She was far from being as composed as her elder sister, and neither was she as meticulous as Su Yixiao. In this blitz, a moment's carelessness had been seized by Xiang Qingqing. Xiang Qingqing's escape technique arrived right before Sikong Dungyo's eyes. His whole body ignited with scathing flames as he used his strongest demon beast type ability, burning Extreme 8 Desolations. 3. He was swift as the wind, ferocious as a wildfire. Sikong Dungyo was unable to bear the attack. She was only able to take one step back before she was struck head-on. In that instant, she only felt her bones and blood vessels burn away, an unbearable pain. This sort of pain also lasted only a moment. Sikong Dungyo was already dead almost instantaneously. The stars dimmed, and a crimson star fell. Sikong Chuha let out a mournful wail as she leapt towards her little sister's corpse. Sikong Dungyo's body was as scalding as red-hot iron. When she drew near, she could smell the stench of something burning. But in spite of it, Sikong Chuha only stared blankly at her little sister. The girl was no longer as calm and easygoing as she had been previously. Her eyes were empty and lifeless. Xiang Qingqing had no feelings of pity when he saw this. He seized the chance to charge again. Thinking that he could once again kill a Star Master, all of a sudden, countless furious flying swords spun about, linking into an ethereal sword array that surprisingly made Xiang Qingqing unable to take a single step forward. Xiang Qingqing was caught unprepared. He looked slightly in surprise at the Ashen Girl. Give me back my little sister's life. Sikong Chuha shouted. The ethereal sword arrays from was like water, adopting the pattern of the Wuji. But her fury was in the end unable to manifest as strength. Xiang Qingqing bellowed, and his raging flames surged towards the sky. Once again, he used burning Extreme 8 Desolations. The swords of water instantly evaporated. I shall send you to go see your little sister now. Xiang Qingqing growled. A beautiful figure just barely rescued Sikong Chuha. If you want to take revenge for your sister, then calm down a bit. Su Yixiao scolded her. Sikong Chuha's eyes were a thorough red as she gazed at Xiang Qingqing with hatred etched into her very being. This time, the Azure Dragon is bound to be destroyed. What revenge will you take then? Xiang Qingqing's body transformed again into a tall and sturdy map. Seeing Sikong Chuha's grief, this inflexible man's eyes surprisingly showed a bit of reluctance. I will cut you into 10,000 pieces. Sikong Chuha ground her teeth. Xiang Qingqing shook his head. His tone was as stiff as before, but with an additional bit of sympathy. There is no need for grief. Today, the Azure Dragon Star Masters are bound to be destroyed. Allow me to end your suffering. At the same time, on Li Taisui and Humi's side. Li Taisui used his absolutely overwhelming advantage to suppress Humi. The old man's fingers snapped, and arcs of electricity linked together, forming a sword that stabbed at the girl's chest. Even the Daluo Golden Immortal would be powerless to return to heaven against this thrust. But despite Hu Mi's wan complexion, there was nevertheless not a trace of fluster. Just at the moment her chest would be pierced, a sudden glint of phantom golden armor wrapped around the girl's body. Li Taisui's finger immediately felt his power being seemingly eaten away. The old man was taken aback. His eyes emitted light, and his fingertip fiercely pressed down, bursting forth with astral thunder. Li Taisui was repelled. The leisurely old man used his paper fan to blow away the dust on his face. The corner of his lips wore a slightly interested smile as he looked at the girl who escaped disaster. Hu Mi's face was colorless as she panted. Her whole body vaguely shuddered uncontrollably. Was that Gold Lancer Guardian Star Su Ning's treasure armor innate skill just now? Li Taisui asked curiously. To think the White Tiger Territory's demon kin would be just slightly knowledgeable. Hu Mi's lips slightly curled, and she wiped away blood. As Li Taisui said, that was Su Jingshu's innate skill, treasure armor, just now. When in danger, the star energy in her body would automatically condense into golden armor to protect her. Although this concentrated golden armor was not real, it was because of Su Jingshu's innate skill that she could resist Star General's weapons and special attacks with a defense that was possibly even more powerful than defensive spirit treasures. However, using this kind of innate skill consumed the Star Master's star energy, and to resist the old man's thunder just now, Hu Mi felt that the star energy in her body had been mostly drained. In her heart, she was secretly astonished the old man's strength was so unfathomable. In secret, she considered how to get away. Thinking of running? Li Taisui's expression was beneficent. Hu Mi has not seen the magic weapon that Senior is so proud of. How can Hu Mi run away? Hu Mi smiled. Li Taisui nodded, slightly impressed with the girl's mental state. What a pity that you are a Star Master. Otherwise, this old man would definitely have trained you. Senior's words are unavoidably arrogant, as if victory in this star duel is in your grasp. Hu Mi took a deep breath, buying time to recover her breathing. Star duel. Li Taisui smiled. Hu Mi realized that the old man did not place the star duels in his gaze. To be accurate, he did not place other star masters in his gaze. However, he had this strength. The Azure Dragon territory is nicknamed the Star Duel's first paradise. A pity that its star masters have given up everything yet were unable to scratch us in the slightest. This old man is not arrogant. Rather, your display gives this old man no choice but to be arrogant. Li Taisui fanned himself. The Azure Dragon Territory's #1 Star Master, the Ling Yan Princess, is not here, let alone that Senior has apparently forgotten about the Purple Thunder Monster, who is not so easy to handle. Little girl, you truly are modest. This old man has already seen the Ling Yan Princess. Compared to her, you are actually somewhat stronger. That Purple Thunder Monster has escaped calamity this time, but in the future, this old man will naturally meet him. Li Taisui slightly smiled. Hu Mi's heart shivered. It seemed like the Ling Yan Princess had already suffered defeat at Li Taisui's hand. This old man was surprisingly so powerful. Little girl, you should have some other trick left that you have not used yet. Li Taisui said, quickly use it then, do not blame this old man for not giving you a chance. Hu Mi does not dare play any more tricks. It would be better that before Hu Mi dies, would it be possible to allow me to see that prehistoric #1 magic weapon? Hu Mi feigned a feeble appearance. Li Taisui's smile was even more unrestrained. Then this old man shall send you off. The Crystal Dragon Palace was in chaos. Although the White Tiger Territory's demon kin ran rampant, there were still many cultivators looking out for their own interests or watching the world burn. From their perspective, this was nothing more than the final battle of the 4 territories' Star Masters. In 1,000 years of star duels, such an opportunity was difficult to find, but it was a pity that the Star Generals being trapped in the array had lost their brilliance. They could only rely on each of their Star Masters to fight. But it seemed that the Azure Dragon Territory's Star Masters completely lacked the strength to fight back. The White Tiger Territory 7 spirit stars were practically a hot knife through butter, unstoppable. They could only see Star Master after Star Master fall before their eyes. Could it be that our Azure Dragon territory has no one? For us to have surprisingly fallen to such a state. A cultivator wrung his wrists in lamentation. The other cultivators were silent. The situation in front of them was indeed wretched. The Azure Dragon territory's highest-level cultivation star Master Xie Zenyuna seemed to have retreated before the battle under orders from his ancestral master, breaking free and escaping from the Crystal Dragon Palace's disaster. The Ling Yan princess, widely recognized as the #1 star master, also did not appear, leaving only Yan Wudao, Long Nu, and a few others being suppressed to an unsightly degree, showing a situation of defeat. It was no wonder. Without their star generals, how could star masters relying on only themselves resist Supervoid demonkin? Even the Azure Dragon territory's Supervoid cultivators were far from enough. This purple thunder monster actually is a lucky bastard. He surprisingly did not appear. Otherwise, this would have been a good choice to eradicate him. What a pity. Everyone conversed one after the other. Suddenly, a dragon roar resounded through the Crystal Dragon Palace. The dragon roar drew everyone's attention. All the cultivators subconsciously lifted their heads, and the scene they saw before them immediately struck them dumb. 5 nine-clawed golden dragons descended from above. Their dragon roars shook everyone present, and the Crystal Dragon Palace's millions of cultivators raised their heads. Beautiful Buddhist light bathed all things. In the light, the petals of a lotus flower blossomed across vast space. Golden lotuses blossomed everywhere, and stern Buddhist chanting enveloped everything. The 5 nine-clawed dragons coiled in the air, suddenly enlarging. They were 100 chi long, and their 5 golden rays of light directly attacked the yellow wuxin that was at the array eye of the Tai spherical heaven form array. Ever since Yellow Wuxin activated the Tai spherical heaven form array, producing myriad linked celestial bodies, even the unequaled Kong Ho found it difficult to move her arms and legs. That weapon in her hand wrapped in stars rose and fell directly. Rays of powerful and tyrannical sword chi fell into the Tai spherical heaven form array and fought the millions of celestial bodies. Kong Ho wrinkled her tall brows. Regarding the White Tiger Territory Star Masters trapping star generals into a position of absolute disadvantage for a star duel, she was apparently displeased, but the Tai spherical heaven form array was endless. For Kong Ho alone to break this star world level array was easy to talk about. Even if Yellow Wuxing did not have Star World Celestial Body All Directions banner keeping watch, she still made Kong Ho dumb as a wooden chicken. Seeing crimson stars fall one after another, Kong Ho's indolent countenance was immediately infuriated. Just at this moment, she suddenly heard a dragon roar. Kong Ho glanced over and immediately saw 5 nine-clawed dragons simultaneously charge into the array. Wherever the golden dragons passed, golden lotuses blossomed, shattering the myriad stars and greatly alleviating Kong Ho's pressure. Perfect timing. A languid smile appeared on Kong Ho's lips. Her eyes suddenly released a lion-like aggression. The woman flipped the divine weapon in her hand. A galaxy suddenly split in two, protecting her left and right. Then, her figure elegantly moved. She pounced, imposing and cold as a tiger, directly reaching the blue dome of heaven. Yellow Wuxin's expression changed. She had not been free of the along the river during Qingming for too long. Her star energy was far from being recovered to a perfect state. The Tai spherical heaven form array that she had used in a moment of desperation was already an arrow at the end of its flight. She had merely relied on the array to barely contain this monster-like existence that was Kong Ho, but she was already at her limit. But following the appearance of the 5 giant and magnificent golden dragons, Liao Emperor Yellow Wuxin immediately sensed a powerful pressure. A small lantern released brilliant light, absorbing the endless qi of the celestial bodies. The 5 colored glass golden dragons shredded the stars to pieces. Kong Ho's killing intent was even more penetrating, reaching directly into her heart. The light of a firefly dares to compete against the sun and moon. Yellow Wuxin forced a laugh. She promptly raised the scroll in her hand. The array shifted, and endless starlight surged forth, unexpectedly trapping the 5 true dragons. The endless light then immediately dimmed. As your servant sees it, your sun and moon are still lacking. Accompanying the 5 dragons, Qingqiao marched straight in unchallenged. The twin sword galaxies in her hands were resplendent, their sword chi like rainbows as she tore the array to shreds. She easily arrived in front of Yellow Wuxin, combining her twin swords into one and slashed downwards. At the same time, a giant phoenix suddenly appeared flapping its wings. It was far more vast than the blue dome of Heave, far more glorious than the 9 firmaments. Yellow Wuxin had been expelled from Star World, and a feeling of fear once again rose in her heart. Yellow Wuxin immediately activated the Tai Spherical Heaven Form Array, Book and True Dragon Chi. There was a bang. The array book fluttered under Qingqiao's sword like snowflakes. The array promptly announced its defeat. Great King, look out! The Liao Emperor's 2 fierce generals rushed over when they saw the Great King was being pressed, but how could they block Qingqiao's sword? When Chao Gai SWA this, the heaven-earth dark yellow thousand pagoda flashed. She chanted, firing 2 rays of Buddhist light to absorb Wu Yanqin and he bower into the pagoda. The remaining sword chi shaped like a crescent moon sliced open Yellow Wuxin's body. The color drained from the elegant Liao Emperor's face, and her mouth nearly spat blood. Just as the proud woman in front of her was about to give her crushing defeat, she spread her arms. Celestial bodies ignited, forming an array. Yellow Wuxin then vanished into the array. She left only one sentence of indignation. This king absolutely will not let this matter go. Her sharp, tiger-like eyes gradually recovered their softness. Qingqiao's killing intent vanished, and she looked up at the sky and sighed, if you truly are able to defeat your servant, that would be fine as well. Pausing, Qingqiao glanced away. It seemed a man emerged from the Buddhist light. The corner of her mouth unwittingly curled into a smile. I shall leave this endgame situation to you to fix. Qingqiao and Yellow Wuxin's duel lasted merely a few blinks of the eye. Inside the array, the millions of cultivators did not catch sight of Qingqiao's powerful slash, but they felt that after the Buddhist light illuminated, that array disappeared, as if some great adept had intervened. Every single one of them could not help but stare in shock, but when they could clearly see the newcomer, they were even more surprised. Su Xing's brow wrinkled when he caught sight of Qingqiao, feeling this woman was somewhat familiar. Although he listened to Zhu Sha's proposal to enter the Dragon Palace using his strongest 5 dragon-colored glass lantern to break the array, he was somewhat surprised it was so easy. The thought instantly passed. It was too late to think any more about it. When he saw Wu Xinjie and the others were in trouble, Su Xing shot over with an escape technique. Black Ice Sealing Spirit Sword Array. Han Bing's 33 Dark Sky Star Frost swords released several beams of cold light. The sword lights linked to form a giant net of ice to capture Shiyu. The immemorial sword chance sword array was tyrannical in its might. Needless to say, they immediately suppressed Shiyu's flying swords. Sword lights froze the magic weapons and spirit lights around the girl, making Shiyu more and more taxed. Humph. Han Bing's expression was ice cold. Just as she was about to grind Shiyu to pieces, her ears suddenly boomed with thunder, shaking her body. Ling Feishue immediately warned her from inside the star nest. Han Bing looked and saw a giant dragon of purple thunder lunging towards her. Purple thunder filled the sky, menacing, a terrifying sight to behold. Han Bing immediately raised magic weapons and flying swords to ward off this blow. At the same time, gold, green, and gray sword lights attacked her. 36 flying swords fell into the ceiling spirit sword array and unimaginably did not have their spiritual frozen by it. On the contrary, those gray flying swords released a faint light that completely dispatched all of the sword chi that twisted towards them. Subsequently, the golden dragons leapt out, and tyrannically entangled Han Bing's immemorial flying swords. Su Xing snapped his fingers, activating the meditative mind lotus. The lotus flower opened to protect Su Xing's body, and Su Xing seized the opportunity to jump into the array. Han Bing did not expect Su Xing to surprisingly dare charge in. Even though her heart as rigid as ice, she was flustered for a brief moment. She promptly raised her demonkin true body's, white mind returning origin, 2, ability. As expected, Su Xing drew close. He put 2 fingers together, and purple qi swirled like a sword as he stabbed at Han Bing's chest. This was the purple star transforming qi that was cultivated into Purple Fiend. Her chest hurt, and Han Bing coughed up a mouthful of blood. Her body was suddenly launched 100 meters away. Her ice-cold figure was suddenly a bright red. "Milord." Shiyu was delighted. "Don't let your guard down." Su Xing was greatly relieved when he saw that Shiyu was not seriously hurt. At this time, he saw the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon and a female Star Master were entangled with Wu Xingjie. He raised his flying swords. The moment Lengjie appeared, the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon's devil swords immediately scattered, Purple Thunder Monster. Su Xingxiang's heart sighed, for she had no choice but to join the group of combatants. After fighting several dozen bouts, the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon, Su Xingxiang, and Han Bing were no match at all. Regardless of star general or cultivation, they held no advantages. Every type of magic weapon flew about in the sky, and Shiyu even activated the dual modes ruler again. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon's side was retreating little by little. "We need to fall back for now, regroup with Tai Sui and the others," the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon urgently said. Han Bing nodded. She waved her hands to fill the sky with a blizzard to repel Su Xing, regroup. "I'm very sorry, but I'm not that kind," Su Xing disdainfully said. Hearing his words, the Holy Lord of Draconic did not understand. But immediately, he realized what Su Xing was saying. The 3 of them were just about to retreat when all of a sudden at this moment, the Crystal Dragon Palace severely jolted. Immediately afterwards, a shrill scream pierced their eardrums. Looking in the direction, even Han Bing's face was unsightly to the extreme. Shijiu Ying's enormous 1,000-year demon tree body had been frozen. Immediately afterwards, a cold light slashed. Split into 2 pieces, Shijiu Ying still did not dare believe what had just happened in front of him. A 1,000-year-old demon tree was not so tough. A woman in a purple skirt smiled gorgeously, right, Yingmei? The Lin Yingmei who had frozen and cut down Shijiu Ying coldly glanced at this demon tree before the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon could process the fact before him. Another howl of extreme anguish roared through the palace. Xiang Qinqing's true body scorched earth giant beast collapsed with a thud. A Qilin golden lance had pierced through the armor he was so proud of, directly penetrating his heart, making this surly demonkin die very cleanly. 3. The young girl holding the lance slightly smiled at everyone. Strength star Jade Qilin Lu Shao, in attendance. When Su Xing broke the Tai spherical heaven form array, Lin Yingmei and Zhao Hanyan had already rushed into the palace. Because Su Xing acted with such power and boldness, he attracted everyone's gazes onto himself, and the 2 girls were completely unnoticed. The Shijiu Ying who had manifested his true body was insufferably arrogant. His tree body shook, and his earth spikes sprouted like spring shoots after a rain. These earth spikes contained Supervoid magic energy. Each spike was completely full of malevolent killing intent, following Shijiu Ying's usage of his abilities. Countless earth spikes surrounded Chai Ling. These spikes constricted the noble star like pythons. Only with the purple star magic weapon the likes of the moon seizing star taking protecting her was Chai Ling not so easily shredded apart. The star beast Xinger sitting in her bosom continuously fired, throw money away recklessly. Gold instantly pulverized the earth spikes, but in the next instant, another earth spike would grow to take its place. Gradually, this formed an endless sea that reached the heavens. This was Shijiu Ying's strongest ability, unstoppable. When he saw that the legendary noble star had joined the star duels, how could Shijiu Ying let go of this opportunity? He thought to himself to kill the noble star and obtain her death-avoiding iron certificate. After he ascended Maiden Mountain, he would inevitably vie arrogantly for supremacy. When he thought of this, Shizhuoing became fervent, his expression twisted in ruthlessness. The Azure Dragon execution wood was also used at its utmost to kill Chai Ling. Their eyes full of worry and wanting to intervene, Jingji and Yuye could not wait any longer. Suddenly at this moment, 72 fairies suddenly descended into the sea of trees. These fairies had skin that was whiter than snow, and they each held a sword as transparent as jade in their hands. The sword tips were clear, dancing one after another. In the blink of an eye, they surprisingly uprooted Shizhuoying's ability. Shizhuoying was stunned. What a demon tree, this princess actually wants a look. A woman in a purple dress appeared and smiled. Zhao Hanyan struck a hand seal. The 72 outer void flying immortals swords psychic fairies waved their nimble swords, sweeping aside the attacking earth spikes. Zhao Hanyan's Supervoid cultivation naturally did not lose out to Shizhuoying, and her flying swords were already nearly at the true spirit realm. They were far more powerful than those magic weapons, changing the situation in nearly an instant. Shizhuoying was enraged. 7 buds of fire emerged from his tree body, twisting and distorting. In a flash, they were as large as a bowl. The 7 buds bloomed like eerie flowers, and then they separated from his trunk and limbs, forming a battle formation. They simultaneously released broad pillars of fire, surged and split into tens of thousands more, just like fireworks. They appeared all over the place at the same time, interweaving into an inescapable net of fire. Zhao Hanyan pointed and activated golden immortal points. 2. This cultivation method was a special skill of the true immortal hall. Divine intent is gathered into a finger, and the divine intent is transformed into a substantive weapon. Whether it be a flying sword, magic weapon or some other ability, they would all receive refinements. However, only a Supervoid cultivator could possibly wield the might of golden immortal points. Otherwise, when encountering a foe with strong divine intent, there would contrarily be great recoil. Shizhuoying had been fighting for a long time, so his cultivation and energy were naturally greatly spent. The approaching cage of fire suddenly met with an incorporeal resistance. Its vigor instantly weakened, and then the flames swirled in an eddy, immediately extinguishing in midair. The 72 outer void flying immortals' swords seized the chance to attack. Shizhuoying shouted. Shizhuoying, I will help you. At this point, the Tai spherical heaven form array had broken, and the wealth star striking hawk Li Qingqiao in the star nest immediately appeared to protect her master. Li Qingqiao's figure flew, swooping down. Her flying daggers appeared, and the golden eagle dragon devouring steel spear very closely stabbed forth. The spearlight swept the 72 flying swords to pieces. Zhao Hanyan was stunned. To be able to break her psychic communication flying swords easily indicated that her opponent's martial force and star weapon were both exceptional. Golden Eagle Dragon Devouring Spear, Wealth Star Striking Hawk Liang. Zhao Hanyan was forced into a swift retreat by the hidden weapons. She did not have innate skills like Su Xing's, so she did not dare contest a martial force heavenly star. Kill her. Shizhuoying ordered. Li Qingqiao practically did not even think. She held her spear in one hand and produced countless doppelgangers of her spear. Their power crashed down, and she used her dark technique Bright Mind Dragon Carving. The spear tips strangely maneuvered to attack Zhao Hanyan. Kill Chai Jin first. Shizhuoying issued more orders. His heart only wanted the iron certificate that averted death. Li Qingqiao's speed was extremely fast. Her innate skill hovering combat allowed her attacks to be even more fierce. Her star beast Golden Eagle also swooped out to assault Zhao Hanyan, and the girl herself was like a giant hawk. Her arms spread open as she attacked Chai Ling. A resolute figure then blocked in front of Chai Ling. Female tiger Gu Tong's expression was calm and full of sternness. Female tiger was not a misnomer at all. Gu Tong opened her cherry lips, and without making any sound, Li Qingqiao suddenly stiffened, her whole body seemingly frozen. Qingqiao showed an astonished expression. Immediately, her brewing aggression completely vanished into thin air. The Een star's earth rank. A wordless loud sound, a shapeless great semblance. 3. Damn it. Shi Jiaoying cursed in anger. A cold shout dropped from the sky. This is bad. Shi Jiaoying hastily shook his tree body, but the newcomer was extremely fast. Killing intent that was cold to the bone was basically unstoppable. Before Shi Jiaoying could see clearly, he suddenly felt an ice-cold feeling sweep over his body. Afterwards, every greedy idea, every thought of cruelty completely vanished into thin air. The 1,000-year-old demon tree immediately withered. Master! Qingqiao vomited blood, staring blankly at Shi Jiaoying split in two by a spear. In spite of the pain from her fallen contractor, the enraged Qingqiao wanted revenge. However, Zhao Hanyan's flying swords immediately twisted, grinding her fury to death. A crimson star fell. A 1,000-year demon tree was not so tough. Right, Yingmei. Zhao Hanyan smiled. Yingmei, you finally came. Chai Ling patted her chest. Seeing that Chai Ling had used the red ink iron certificate, Lin Yingmei slightly wrinkled her brow. Be careful. She then turned to glance at Gu Tong, and without stopping, mounted Crying Frost to rush to where Su Xing was. She does not even want the spoils of war. Zhao Hanyan looked at the magic weapons Shi Jiaoying left behind and the star weapon of Wealth Star Qingqiao. It is a pity that little sister Wealth Star Liang chose the wrong master. Chai Ling looked at that star weapon and slightly sighed. Meanwhile, Lu Xiao also waited until the array broke to mount her star beast and rush down. To be clear, this was a coincidence. Originally, Lu Xiao up until now had been refining the 1,000-year tears to increase her own star energy. She did not expect that such a big chance was occurring in the Crystal Dragon Palace. When she had rushed over, she bumped into Su Xing. She originally wanted to help Su Xing, however, when she saw that he had seized a complete advantage, Jade Qilin then placed her thoughts onto the other dangerous sisters. It was then that she felt that as a big sister, she honestly was a bit of a failure, to unexpectedly not care for her sisters first and instead feel concern for the Star Duel's greatest enemy. She laughed to herself, and then she heard a wail of grief. Lu Xiao rushed over without thinking. The scene in front of her was of an enormous rhinoceros beast rampaging tyrannically. Two girls were currently bitterly persevering. Originally, they were both star masters Lu Xiao did not care for, but seeing that one of the girls was in a bit of distress, the strength star was moved to compassion. She raised her golden Qilin lance and attacked. Xiang Qinqing was about to kill Sikong Chuha in one blow. Su Yixiao at this time had already exhausted all of her magic weapons and powers. She was at the end of her rope. Suddenly, Xiang Qinqing sensed danger. He raised his head to see a woman thrusting a lance at him. Xiang Qinqing roared without a trace of fear. Even normal star weapons could not pierce through his scorched earth armor. Cultivators could only court death, but Xiang Qinqing immediately paid a heavy price for this. Lu Zhao's martial arts were another level of excellence, practically spotting Xiang Qinqing's weak point the instant she attacked. The golden Qilin lance directly thrust in. Xiang Qinqing, who originally believed that he could break the weapon, suddenly changed. He used his cultivation to try and stop it, but the weapon of the Star General, who was number 1 in martial force, had no return logic once unleashed. Lu Zhao's fingers gripped tighter, and the golden Qilin lance forcefully pierced through this demon beast. Xiang Qinqing's full power magic energy finally eliminated the rays of golden light that wrapped the weapon. When he saw the identity of that divine weapon, even the stiff as iron Xiang Qinqing cried out in shock. Golden Qilin lance, strength star Jade Qilin Lu Xiao, in attendance. Lu Xiao slightly smiled and helped Xiang Qinqing finish his last words. Boom! His sturdy body collapsed like a small hill. With her star nest destroyed, the Star General in the nest manifested. Zhou Zhiyun raised her flowing water-green depth spear and wildly lunged at Lu Xiao, her layered pupils frightening. However, before she could use her earth rank, Lu Xiao gently shook her head. She struck apart her weapon and easily ended her pain. How can this sort of thing happen? The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon was scared speechless. Not only him, but the millions of cultivators in the Crystal Dragon Palace were shaken and utterly speechless. The Azure Dragon cultivators who were originally on the verge of crisis unexpectedly showed rapid changes after the Purple Thunder monster appeared. After the powerful Tai spherical heaven form array was broken, the Liao Emperor fled. Then, Han Bing and the Holy Lord of Draconic Demons team was repelled. At the same time, the insufferably arrogant White Tiger 7 Spirit Stars surprisingly had two of their Star Masters starfall in quick succession. Although they had thought that the Purple Thunder monster was possibly the Azure Dragon Territory's #1 cultivator, to face the teamwork of the three territories' Star Masters perhaps did not have any good consequences for him. No one could have imagined this situation. Was that the 5 dragons colored glass lantern just now? What a formidable magic weapon, to unexpectedly break the Liao Emperor's array. The Strength Star seems to have also followed him here. How is this possible? This simple is unprecedented. Countless cultivators cried out in shock everywhere. Their arms and legs felt ice cold. Compared to the Liao Emperor, the White Tiger 7 Spirit Stars star duels, the most high path's betrayal, they still had time to feel shocked about this matter. These cultivators gazed at Su Xing, full of every kind of complex feeling. Envy, reverence, fear, adoration, even modesty. Strength Star, Han Bing's eyes were ice cold. If a group of these people united, she did not dare continue fighting. How could Su Xing let them go, especially a bastard like the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon who relied on the Devil Star Palace? Today, he must die. Lengya's evil-suppressing clear light glowed bright. As if he had touched fire, the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon could only shrink back with a sorry figure. If it was not for Su Xingxiang's heaven-departing spirit distribution banner, he would be undoubtedly dead. Although Su Xingxiang would feel no regret if the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon died, at this time, she still felt that the Purple Thunder monster was the greatest enemy. At this time, she also saw majestic star Lin Yingmei on the attack towards them. She hastily called out, "Lord Husband, we must leave quickly." "And to where?" Lin Yingmei shouted. The star weapon in her hand drew an ice-cold arc. The 5-star Arctic Star Serpent Spear practically left Han Bing and the other two staring blankly. "Han Bing, I will protect you," Ling Feishue shouted. The Silent Destruction Star Meteor Cannon belched out scorching fire dragons. "Watch this earth technique. Heaven-shaking earth-splitting gathering triple cannon." Boom, an enormous rumble shook the entire place. Heaven-shaking earth-splitting gathering triple cannon. The concentrated cannon fire frantically roared towards Lin Yingmei. The first wave rolled like a tidal wave, immediately consuming Lin Yingmei in cannon fire. In that instant, the engulfing cannon fire once again burst with an ear-splitting explosion, as if a mountain had risen from the ground, seemingly disintegrating Lin Yingmei. The cannon fire that rose into the sky became a third wave of 10,000 dragons. Immediately afterwards, they descended without mercy, like the spectacular sight of the sky falling. Even a Supervoid cultivator like Su Xing was jolted back by the leftover power of the cannon fire. The 3 waves of cannon fire represented the 3 levels of man, earth, and heaven. This was the triple cannon of heaven-shaking thunder Ling Feishue. After the cannon fire, the place that Lin Yingmei stood at was already like purgatory, a miserable sight to behold. Every kind of gorgeous precious stone was blown to slag. Even a supercluster cultivator would fear this type of powerful attack. Even he himself would have been smithereens. This was the power of those legendary Maiden Mountain Star Generals. Although Ling Feishue's Earth rank was tyrannical, to instantly dispatch Maiden Mountain's top-notch Marshal General Majestic Star Panther Head was nevertheless impossible. An ice-cold figure rushed straight out of the sea of fire. An ice-cold spear tip condensed the surrounding air into frost. The drifting embers became snowflakes, and the scorching hot temperatures suddenly fell to below zero. The Arctic Star Serpent Spear released a dazzling cold and elegant light. Lin Yingmei's dark rank. Freezing frost of 9 provinces. The Ling Feishue who had used her earth rank had no strength at all to counter this. Her star master Han Bing at this time was completely unable to compensate and could only stare helplessly as that ray of cold light brushed over Ling Feishue's astonished and unreconciled face. What a splendid Lin Chong! After she said this, Ling Feishue already fell into the star nest. Although she used a 5-star destined weapon to block Ling Feishue's earth rank, Lin Yingmei still sustained significant injury. She wanted to pursue in a burst of energy, but Su Xing stopped her and made Suan heal her. Su Xing dismissed her thoughts of pursuit not because he wanted to let these demon-kin star masters go. Although Ling Feishue's earth rank successfully suppressed Su Xing's pursuit, they had nevertheless overlooked one other person. Little Yi and Su Xing's minds had tacit coordination, and she had already brought out the 3 arrows lethal crossbow. Concentrating all of her star energy into the arrows, her star crest glowed. 3 rays of scarlet light then whooshed as they were suddenly fired. Who in the world could avoid the 3 arrows containing all of the skillful star's power? The crossbow bolts sunk directly into Han Bing's chest. The woman cried out. Her white clothes immediately blossomed with a bright red bloodstain. The bolt's penetrating power nearly forced Han Bing into her true body. Compared to her, Su Xingxiang was not so miserable. Su Xingxiang's star general was a young girl with long, perfectly straight black hair. She wore old-fashioned black leather armor that offset her fiery curves. Underneath the armor was white silk thin as a cicada's wing, contrasting with the girl's skin that was white as snow. The bolt punched into the girl's body. Even so, the girl's face showed no suffering at all. Compared to her, the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon was somewhat unfortunate. Li Xiangfei and Fan Ming were isolated from him. Fortunately, the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon had the Heavenly Demon armor and had cultivated the Devil Star Palace's 8 Desolations devil body to strengthen his physical body. Little Yi's arrow was stopped by the 8 Desolations Heavenly Devil body after piercing through the Heavenly Demon armor. It finally came to a rest close to his heart. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon howled in pain. Damn all of you! Correct Star Demon King of Chaos Fan Ming's tone was serious. Before she could lash out with her anger, the normally extremely calm and noble Li Xiangfei nevertheless was also infuriated by their situation of consecutive defeats each time they encountered Su Xing. Li Xiangfei's eyes were enraged, brandishing her white knight dragon carving sword without a word. White light flashed. It blinded Zhang Yuqi and Zhang Feiyu. Because Zhu Sha had broken a corner of the territory, the East Sea was pouring in. It was already beginning to flood the Crystal Dragon Palace. The water level was not high yet, unusable to White Stripe in the waves and the boatmen, but as far as Maiden Mountain's No. 1 water general River Dragon was concerned, she was not to be underestimated. In the instant that Li Xiangfei raised her sword, the Crystal Dragon Palace's sea water inconceivably evaporated in that instant. It all gathered into an enormous water pillar that Li Xiangfei formed. This action, this breathing, this release, they were all quick beyond limits. How could anyone react? In the blink of an eye, Li Xiangfei's earth rank technique was complete, infuriated Azure Sea. If it was any other top-notch martial general against the top-notch water general's infuriated Azure Sea, they would be very misfortunate. Fortunately, the Zhang sisters were also water generals. Mid-technique, they had already sensed it. Although they were able to react in time, they were still seriously hurt instantly by Li Xiangfei and lost their capability to continue battle. Die! Fan Ming and Li Xiangfei were contracted to the same contractor. They acted with tacit coordination. After Li Xiangfei incapacitated the Zhang sisters, Demon King of Chaos was already clawing at them, using her earth rank without the slightest hesitation, Soul Flying Sword Dispersal. Zhang Yuqi and Zhang Feiyu could only wait for death. The two were perfectly coordinated, as expected of the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon, currently the Black Turtle Territory's No. 1 Star Master, but it was a pity that they had ran into the abnormality that was Su Xing. Just when Fan Ming thought she could kill the two Zhang sisters, a blood shadow rushed over. Because they traded blows in an instant, Su Xing could only once again use the chaotic tail escape, the escape technique that was defiant of the natural order, to be able to make it in time. His hands clasped together, opening the meditative mind lotus flower. Fan Ming sneered, as if she was saying, "You came at the perfect time." Although the name of the Demon King of Chaos Earth rank technique did not have an air of destructive intimidation, Soul Flying Sword Dispersal name was brandished. The blade tips of the soul fragmenting claws separated. According to the enemy before her, they would automatically divide into countless strands of killing intent. In the blink of an eye, they not only disintegrated Su Xing's lotus flower completely, many more still pounced towards Zhang Yuqi without stop. Return to the star nest. Su Xing snapped his fingers. The earth element, heavenly abyss, appeared, yet this earthly star's earth rank was terrifying to the extreme, making Su Xing feel pain from his life cast link. The powerful earth element flying swords merely lasted a half-second before being pierced by the dispersing killing intent, however, it was precisely this half-second that allowed Zhang Yuqi and Zhang Feiyu to return to the star nest. How can this be? Fan Ming was shocked. Only if a star general self-star released could they possibly return to their contractor's star nest this quickly. But how could Demon King of Chaos have known that Zhang Yuqi had ingested Rat Star Tangtang's dark rank wine yearning day and night that was capable of instantaneous return to the star nest? Damned man. To not kill the Zhang sisters under a situation of completely assured success drove Fan Ming insane. The girl looked at Su Xing, her eyes full of fury. It was this man who once again meddled with her. Just who are you? Fan Ming shouted. At the same time, she spread her arms, and her soul-fragmenting claws surrounded Su Xing. Minger, you must not. The Li Xiangfei who had just used her earth rank saw that Fan Ming had lost all reason, hurriedly shouting to call her back. Li Xiangfei had a sort of inauspicious premonition. This man was extremely dangerous. As expected, just when Fan Ming pounced, Su Xing evaded with light smoke dance steps, making Fan Ming land on nothing. His fingers snapped, and instant frost flame formed. The frost flame instantly froze Fan Ming. Su Xing then summoned the metal element, Heaven Tearing. The Heaven Tearing metal swords pressed against Fan Ming's neck. The young girl stared at the man in front of her with an expression of disbelief. Fan Ming was sent flying by this slash. Similarly heavily injured, Lin Yingmei could easily kill her. Lin Yingmei wrinkled her brow, yet she did not do so. She raised the Arctic Star Serpent Spear and moved to attack Han Bing and Su Xingxiang. Su Xingxiang knew that today was unexpected failure. When she saw that a corner of the heaven-connecting ocean settling barrier had broke, Su Xingxiang instantly activated the outlaw Liangshan pendant, coquettishly smiling, "Purple Thunder Monster, lowly servant will experience you another day." At that time, your distinguished self must take pity on lowly servant for her feebleness. Han Bing coldly grunted. Having been struck by the lethal crossbow and lost Ling Xuefei, she was also made a prompt decision to leave the Crystal Dragon Palace. The last one left, the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon's face changed. "Holy Lord of Draconic Demon, let's chat," Su Xing said, Langia spinning around. Their sword tips glowed with clear light, concentrating into a green rainbow that flew to take the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon's head. Fan Ming jumped to block, but a chain wrapped around her arms and legs. Wu Xinjie smiled sweetly. "Little sister, apologies." The Knowledge Star did not have any burdens of compassion or justice. The 8-gate black gold chain killed Fan Ming. Just as the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon was about to meet an unfortunate end, several dozen flying swords descended from the heavens and held back Langia. The moment they made contact, Su Xing was stunned. The heavenly cycle-changing holy swords. Su Xing hastily recalled Langia. The 36 flying swords assumed a formation. At the same time, several figures already appeared in front of him. Senior Protector. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon breathed a sigh of relief. Those heavenly cycle-changing holy swords seem to have been used by this person. Seniors, you interfere with a star duel, do you not fear implicating the Devil Star Palace? Wu Xinjie mockingly laughed. Corpse Devil Ruthlessness and the other 3 law protectors looked at each other. To leave the palace today, absolutely nothing could happen to the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon, otherwise they would have no good explanations. However, the one who intervened just now was Fiend Star. If Chao Gai truly pursued the matter, they could quibble no longer. Thinking quickly, Elder Dried Bone of the Devil Star Palace Law Protectors smiled kindly. Purple Thunder Monster, your current battle formation is vast, unexpectedly making those top-notch star generals completely follow you. Even Strength Star Jade Qilin is accompanying you. Perhaps even Chao Gai is not your foe. Why make things difficult for others? His words clearly were meant for Chao Gai, who was standing idly by and watching, secretly mocking Maiden Mountain as incompetent. If the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon withdraws from the star duels, I will not pursue him. Su Xing shrugged, matter-of-factly saying. These words made the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon unable to restrain his anger. Little brat, do not be too arrogant. You have broken the rules of the star duels. Perhaps even Maiden Mountain will not protect you. Do you honestly believe that you can face the 4 of us with your injured star generals? True Lord Heavenly Commandment disdainfully said. The Devil Star Palace's 4 great law protectors were mighty Supervoid cultivators. To be surprisingly shaken by a single star master was honestly humiliating. That being said, they were slightly afraid of the Purple Thunder Monster's reputation. Each of them drew on qi from their dantian, using their abilities as they secretly waited to take action. Law Protectors, let us seize the opportunity right now while Wu Song and the others are heavily injured and kill him. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon enviously said. Elder Dried Bone coldly glanced at him. To be frank, he very much did not want to participate in matters of the star duels at all. Even if Maiden Mountain did not investigate him, this Purple Thunder Monster's numerous abnormal star generals were intolerable. During that moment he hesitated, there was a sudden change. The quiet Fiend Star let out a bone-chilling sneer. He pointed his hand. The heavenly cycle-changing holy swords assumed a star-breaking ancient sword array. The precarious situation immediately collapsed. Elder Dried Bone cursed under his breath, his expression becoming extremely unsightly. Li Jun, quickly take him away. The old man spat out a turbid breath. Li Xiangfei grabbed hold of the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon. The woman shouted. The seas suddenly surged like an arrow. Li Xiangfei transformed into a dragon that shot straight out of the Crystal Dragon Palace. 2. And at the same time, the 4 great Supervoid cultivators Elder Dried Bone, Corpse Devil Ruthlessness, True Lord Heavenly Commandment, and Fiend Star all took action. Which made all of the cultivators feel despair. Across all of Liangshan continent, there was no prior spectacle of 4 great Supervoid cultivators taking action against a single star master at the same time. Elder Dried Bone and the other 3 Supervoid cultivators released their spiritual powers. As if Mount Tai was bearing down, the air within several dozen li froze. All of the cultivators trapped within could only feel stifled, incapable of budging. Let alone that the 4 great Supervoid cultivators were somewhat afraid of Su Xing, they nevertheless did not leave any leeway. Although he was somewhat dissatisfied with Fiend Star moving forward, how could Elder Dried Bone and the other 2 law protectors not think of taking down this Purple Thunder monster who was legendary in 3 of the territories? Besides killing him to obtain his massive star energy that could make them break through to Supervoid peak in one go, they could even reach Transforming Star of Annihilation stage. Even that 5 dragons colored glass lantern was enough to allow them to aim for the throne of Liangshan continent. Noticing that Su Xing's skillful star, Harm Star, and other star generals were either incapable of further battle or were separated, Elder Dried Bone seized the chance to attack. 10,000 Bone Sword Array. 9 True Heavenly Commandments Sword Array. Heavenly Cycle-Changing Holy Sword Array. There was also Corpse Devil Ruthlessness swinging an enormous chunk of iron. Similarly, he used a powerful ability. Giant Sword Unrivaled. More than 1,000 flying swords, all bright, dark, or resplendent, split off into countless rainbow lights that fell over each other during their attack on Su Xing. For Supervoid cultivators, and 2 of them were middle stages that perhaps even Emperor Liang would be forced to flee from. Even the Kong Ho who was spectating was pondering whether or not she should lend Chai Ling's little lover a helping hand. Everyone felt that that thunder monster had finally met his doom. But upon remembering the purple thunder monster's current prestige, everyone was not so certain. Su Xing was fearless, flipping his wrist. The Empress 2 Earth Book bubbled forth. Chi of yellow dust scattered, and the true Spirit Empress 2 Fairy's sleeve flipped. Rolling, dark yellow chi formed a dust cloud that wrapped around Su Xing's group. All of the flying swords thundered, yet there was no visible damage at all. Heaven and earth wither, gods and souls indestructible. Elder Dried Bone raised a black lantern. This lantern clinked, and a tiny flame as black as ink released a foul evil light that swallowed the earth chi. Although this 9 hells lantern could not compare to the 5 dragons colored glass lantern, its might was still tyrannical. The core flame inside the lantern received 9 hells from the underworld Blackfire. Having undergone Elder Dried Bone's continuous refinement, the lantern's light could corrode every sort of magic weapon it shone upon. Coiling Dragon Wall. True Lord Heavenly Commandment similarly activated his strongest magic weapon. A rampart carved in the likeness of a coiling dragon was raised, becoming a giant dragon of clear light that attacked the Earth Book, but the moment of impact made the Earth Book's defenses show cracks. Then, Corpse Devil Ruthlessness ability Ruthless Bellow. A soul-shredding roar shook the cultivator's internal organs to pieces. Su Xing inwardly thought to himself that this was formidable. Liangshan continent's top-notch Supervoid cultivators were fully deserving of their reputation, as expected. The Empress 2 Earth Book was surprisingly unable to resist this attack. The Empress 2 Fairy showed a pained expression, and the dark yellow earth chi was suppressed to an increasingly feeble state. Furthermore, outside the Earth Book were Supervoid sword arrays and powerful magic weapons waiting for prey. For the time being, this was surprisingly hard to deal with. Lin Yingmei wrinkled her brow. She raised the Arctic Star Serpent Spear in preparation to attack with Iceheart Seal's Sun and Moon. These 4 great law protectors of the Devil Star Palace would absolutely perish under the majestic star's Earth rank. Before she could execute, Wu Xinjie held her back. Little sister, do not go for now. Xinjie. Lin Yingmei did not understand. Just leave these people to Nyangzi. Wu Xinjie slightly smiled. Lin Yingmei was bewildered. Elder Dried Bone and the others were also deeply afraid of the majestic star using her Earth rank. Seeing that she had yet to use it, they urgently boosted their magic energy output. Their powerful Supervoid magic energy boomed, affecting the organs of 100 other cultivators. So this is the Spirit Sealing List's Empress 2 Earth Book. It has unexpectedly developed a true spirit. What a formidable magic weapon. It is surprisingly able to block for this long. Elder Dried Bones saw that the Earth Book was powerful, and his heart was somewhat astonished. An insignificant Star Master surprisingly dares to face 4 enemies alone. You are a mantis obstructing a chariot, you overestimate yourself. True Lord Heavenly Commandment laughed. Destroying your magic weapon True Spirit makes this one a bit regretful. It would be better to give it to this one, and then how about this one lets you go? Spiritual pressure descended. Just as the Empress 2 Earth Book was about to be destroyed, Su Xing formed a hand seal, Empress 2, come back. A ray of yellow light flashed by. The Empress 2 Earth Book closed, its true spirit vanished, and the billowing earth chi faded into thin air without the Earth Book. Elder Dried Bone and the other cultivators were waiting for precisely this moment. Then, the 4 great law protectors' magic weapons, powers, and flying swords each attacked Su Xing, bearing powerful energy. Forget you, even Emperor Liang would inevitably die. All of those abilities and magic weapons destroyed. Su Xing Elder Dried Bone sensed that the purple thunder monster had apparently given up resisting. His heart was delighted. Could it be that the legendary purple thunder monster would die by their hand? This delight was fleeting, for he heard True Lord Heavenly Commandments suddenly shout, "Impossible." Looking again, Elder Dried Bone's face was immediately ashen. The sword chants dispersed. Su Xing appeared before them completely unharmed, a relaxed grin upon his face, as if he was mocking their attack just now. This is absolutely impossible. Elder Dried Bone was shocked. No one could be this relaxed under the attack of 4 top-notch Supervoid cultivators working together. That is, Fiend Star's tone concentrated. It was only at this moment that Elder Dried Bone noticed that Su Xing was enveloped in golden wind and green light. This beautiful light wrapped around Su Xing like clothing. It was more abnormal than the strongest defensive magic weapon that Elder Dried Bone had seen, the Head of Resisting Heaven, but this clearly was not like a magic weapon. In that flowing light, Elder Dried Bone clearly sensed a kind of unprecedented tranquility and love. This is a Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow skill. Elder Dried Bone's eyes widened as he shouted in disbelief. How is this possible? True Lord Heavenly Commandments' smile vanished. The Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow skills of the Star Generals of Liangshan Continent's legendary star duels. Any cultivator would inevitably adore and hate such a thing when mentioned. These skills were extremely mysterious and exceptional. Their appearances in records of the star duels were as few as phoenix feathers, but to be able to achieve a Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow skill with a Star General, which one of those would not be one of the final 7 stars? But a Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow skill was extremely difficult. Only when a Star General reached a certain realm could one possibly manifest. How could Elder Dried Bone imagine that this outstanding purple thunder monster could contract so many Star Generals without saying that he was unexpectedly able to comprehend the Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow? However, thinking carefully, this was actually quite obvious. But after looking at those beautiful girls behind Su Xing, he did not see any of the Star Generals in resonance. Killing intent shook behind him. Only then did Elder Dried Bone spot far behind him a wondrous young girl as gorgeous as flowing water currently staring coldly at them. Those golden pupils were luminous and clear. Her hands each gripped beautiful golden and green sabers. Her body was similarly shrouded in a glow that was identical to Su Xing's. The star crest on her forehead made clear her identity. Who was this? Who else could it be? Bright star 10 feet of blue Hunyangzi and her Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow. When autumn's golden wind embraces Jade Dew. The Su Xing under the effects of when autumn's golden wind embraces Jade Dew could appear to be in a state where he had no match, however, he could not make any other movements. Bright star Hunyangzi raised her double sabers, and only then did when autumn's golden wind embraces Jade Dew's true killing move begin. Crescent rays of gold and green light crisscrossed, rising up and falling like a torrential downpour. In but a single glint, the great cultivators' sword arrays were disintegrated. What a powerful Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow! Elder Dried Bones sucked in a breath. You dare attack my prince consort, you are very bold. Milord, I shall help you. Hey! At the same time, 3 shouts sounded out. Zhao Hanyan, Shiyu, and Gong Kaiwei rushed over in succession. Each of the girls' cultivations had reached Supervoid, powerful and imposing. Elder Dried Bones suddenly somewhat fell apart when he saw this battle formation. What the fuck kind of situation was this? 3 Supervoid cultivators would unexpectedly stand on the Purple Thunder monster's side. You are helping your future enemy. You will inevitably regret this in the future. Elder Dried Bones sneered. Knowing that they had lost the advantage, any further fighting would result in the Devil Star Palace's 4 great law protectors losing their lives here and now. Without even thinking, Elder Dried Bone used an escape technique to flee. The other cultivators also had the intent to retreat when they saw this. But how could 10 feet of blue let them leave so easily? Hunyangzi snorted. The saber light of the heaven-earth dark yellow first constricted them, and by the time when autumn's golden wind embraces Jade dew vanished, the girl leapt up high. Like a wisp of smoke, she wonderfully danced. Give up your lives. Hun Yangzi instantly attacked. The sabers in her hands slashed out gusts of saber wind. They whooshed swiftly, catching True Lord Heavenly Commandment. Before this Supervoid early-stage cultivator could struggle, an extremely beautiful figure arrived in front of him. Her black hair flowed, beautiful. The True Lord Heavenly Commandment, who had been originally preparing to use his powers to counterattack, suddenly felt his heart stop. He was stunned by the beautiful scene in front of him. The coiling dragon wall he clenched in his hand stiffened. True Lord Heavenly Commandment renounced all resistance, seemingly as wide open as a baby. He merely stared blankly at the beautiful scene in front of him. The corner of Hun Yangzi's mouth curled, revealing a breathtaking smile. True Lord Heavenly Commandment suddenly had a sort of ridiculous feeling that, even death is worth it. Then, Hun Yangzi's other saber directly entered his heart as brilliantly as that golden curve, achieving his wish. To be able to make a Supervoid stage cultivator die so peacefully without resistance, this naturally was Hun Yangzi's earth rank technique. This hatred faces wind, this passion leaves moon. 2. When Elder Dried Bones saw that True Lord Heavenly Commandment was surprisingly done in so easily, his heart was even more fearful. Fiend Star and Corpse Devil did not see this, for their escape speed was even faster. Zhao Hanyan and the others wanted to stop them, but how could they obstruct Supervoid middle-stage cultivators? Dear husband. Hun Yangzi brought True Lord Heavenly Commandment's astral bag to Su Xing, speaking in a tender and sincere whisper. Nicely done, wife. Su Xing smiled and said, let's go see the others first. N. Su Xing arrived in front of Liangshan. The indifferent maid was still tenacious, but when Su Xing gently patted her, Liangshan then collapsed against his chest. You went through a lot of trouble just now. Su Xing said pitifully to the little E who had used all her power for the 3 arrows lethal crossbow. Slave servant ought to do this. Hearing Su Xing's gentle voice, Liangshan felt even more limp. Her cheeks slightly blushed. Fortunately, against Su Xing's chest, no one else saw. Little E, return to the star nest and rest properly. Leave the rest to us. Wu Xinjie ordered. Slave servant obeys. With a bit of reluctance to leave, Liangshan still entered the star nest without hesitation. Having finally settled the Devil Star Palace's forces, Su Xing breathed out. However, things were far from truly finished. Now was not the time to catch up. Su Xing looked at the other places in the Crystal Dragon Palace and narrowed his eyes. Let's star duel properly with these White Tiger 7 spirit stars. Yuan already wants to. Sure, Yuan rubbed her palms. However, there is something else that we must request of the immortal hero princess. Wu Xinjie said. Gong Kai-wei was still in a daze as she gazed at these star generals at Su Xing's side. Hearing Wu Xinjie's words, she returned to her senses. Her eyes glinted brightly and blinked. Without even waiting to hear what Wu Xinjie was asking, the immortal hero princess already nodded her head in agreement. Clear as water sword light clashed with translucent fire, twisting together with absolutely beautiful light. One side churned like a watery dragon, and the other flapped like the wings of a bird. The dragon and bird battled actually beautifully. Long Nu's, Water Dragon Roar Wave, and Yi Futu's, Vermilion Bird Blackening Flame, were both used at full power. Their cultivations were about even, both taking an even share of the limelight in their struggle, a sight to behold. And to the side, Xie Chang'an's 8 legions of Naga and Deva protection and Sung Feng's Demon-kin ability, 9 turns Astral Wind, also battled fiercely. For extremely quick silhouettes crisscrossed, leaving bystanders with no room to interfere. Yi Futu and Sung Feng faced the Crystal Dragon Palace's 7th Princess Long Nu and man of exceptional gentility and grace. Originally, Yi Futu and Sung Feng had victory in their grasp, but they were showing signs of defeat by the two in front of them. If it was not for the Crystal Dragon Palace's guardians, they would have already lost their lives on the spot, but following the collapse of the Tai spherical heaven form array, everything was shockingly reversed. The earthly star guardian of 3 mountains Huang Mengrui, one of the 4 heavenly kings, raised her sword. Her dark rank sword technique, White Waterfall Hearing Noise, directly swept over, and the also 4 heavenly king Hao Bingxin had wanted to leave the array, but she was forcibly contained in the star nest by Yi Futu. Hao Bingxin was already injured previously when she fought Wu Xiao. Yi Futu knew that she was currently completely incapable of facing her, and Yi Futu did not want to make her face the risk of being killed whatsoever. Although she knew Yi Futu's concern, seeing her own contractor was being suppressed, Hao Bingxin could not stand this. Friends, now that the purple thunder monster is the fisherman who caught both the clam and the snipe, must we continue fighting? Xia Chang'an held a tone of warning, informing them that the purple thunder monster was currently their true enemy. What are you thinking of? Zhang Feng asked. We team up. Xia Chang'an said. His thinking was not wrong at all. After all, in the future 7 Stars Assembly, the Purple Thunder Monster's extensive star general formation would inevitably defeat them even without fighting. No need for an alliance. Long Nu pursed her lips and pointed a hand seal. The water dragon roar wave became countless waves, and Huang Mengue seized the chance to put strength to her sword, going after the direct source of their problems. I feel the same. Yi Futu continuously stepped backwards, contrarily smiling at Xia Chang'an. Now that the array has broken, your distinguished self-star general still does not emerge. Why not yours? Xia Chang'an smiled. Watch this. Saying this, magnificent star Hao Bingxin finally could endure no longer and forced her way out of the star nest. The silver snow dragon abyss broadsword nimbly swung, and a very heavy strength was suddenly brandished. Huang Mengrui's rapier blocked it, and a water wave sword light surged over. Hao Bingxin used her sword to block it, slashing back with her dark rank. With a bang, the ground was split with a several-meter-wide hole by the giant sword. The powerful force made Huang Mengrui and Long Nu take a step back. Little sister magnificent star. Huang Mengrui's eyes emitted an excited glint. Encountering the earthly star 4 heavenly king made guardian of 3 mountains unable to contain herself. The corner of Xia Chang'an's lips curled. A silhouette similarly charged out of her star nest to directly assault Hao Bingxin. Hao Bingxin waved her sword. Her eyes were suddenly dazzled as 2 whips leapt past her sword tip like vipers, nipping at her shoulders. Hao Bingxin gasped and was pulled over by the 2 whips. That figure of peerless talent also had a pace of ease and dexterity. Her whips shook, biting Hao Bingxin's wrist. The pain made the magnificent star nearly spill tears. The little lowly grit her teeth and counterattack with all her might, but these 2 whips were unrelenting. Under the 2 whips, Hao Bingxin completely lost any room for resistance and was flipped around by the whips. In the end, the whips cracked, sending Hao Bingxin flying away. The entire process was like a white steed speeding by, a mere instant. The dust cleared. A beautiful and naturally poised woman appeared before them. That woman was dressed in a golden brocade and a long skirt with a slit, revealing one of her beautiful snow-white legs. She had jade green gloves and golden dragon-marked arm covers. Her snow-white shoulders were slightly exposed, an elegant countenance. Her eyes were like black dots, carrying a sort of easygoing feel. Especially those whips in her hands which were produced with incomparable beauty. Segment after segment interlocked. Their whole bodies were clear, like a bright moon or falling snow. Wind and moon unmatched, Yi Futu was shaken. Long Nu and Sung Feng both showed surprise. Wind and moon unmatched, Maiden Mountain's 5 Tigers Star General, Prestige Star Double Clubs Huyanzhua. Does your servant still have the qualifications to unite against the Purple Thunder Monster with you? Huyan Shuang smiled. As expected of the 5 Tigers General, this not at all guarded attitude brought a sort of enormous hostile pressure. However, wait until after you survive Shuang'er's clubs before we discuss an alliance. Huyan Shuang slightly smiled, and her beautiful figure moved. Hao Bingxin had only just wobbled her way back up when she sensed a pressure attack her. Zhang Feng's Star General Xiang Nongmei wanted to go rescue her, but hidden weapons nevertheless forced her back. She could not keep up with Huyan Shuang's speed and could only watch helplessly as Huyan Shuang passed by Hao Bingxin's body. Then, the little loli was like beautiful porcelain, showing a crack. After she toppled over, she fell into the star nest. Yi Futu was in endless pain. "Leave now!" Zhang Feng shouted. At this moment, Xia Chang'an was already moving to attack Yi Futu. His magic weapon, 7 Apertures Finely Exquisite Banner, was tossed out, to trap Yi Futu to death. But Yi Futu was not a nobody. His heart's unswerving determination made him return to his senses in time. He jumped backwards, and his wrist flipped out a beautiful fan with 7 long feathers, 7 feathers fan. The fan moved. It spat out large swathes of flame. The flames became a phoenix that completely surrounded the 7 Apertures Finely Exquisite Banner, and the flame's soulless power did not disperse, forcing Xia Chang'an into only being able to retreat. 7 feathers fan. Xia Chang'an was considerably surprised. The 7 feathers fan was a famous magic weapon among the prehistoric spirit treasures. The fan was made from the feathers of 7 fire-type immemorial divine beasts. Its mighty power was incomparable. However, legend said that this spirit treasure had long been lost. It was known that Liangshan continent had passed down a similarly exceptional imitation, the 7 feathers karma fire fan. The 7 feathers fan required the cultivator to expend vast amounts of star energy. Yi Futu did not want to use this at all until the most critical of moments. Huyan Shuang's hands shook. Her 2 clubs suddenly softened, slithering over. Although the 7 feathers fan was powerful, the 4-star destined weapon of the 5 tigers general was even stronger. Wind and moon unmatched drove away the flames, and the whiplight twisted towards Yi Futu's neck. Yi Futu used all of his power. The 7 feathers fan released 3 more different kinds of flames, but this was still unable to stop this powerful wind and moon unmatched. Just as he was about to be beheaded by the whips, at this moment, several hidden weapons struck the whip, dissipating much of its power. "Futu, leave now." Zhang Feng blocked in front of him. Yi Futu did not expect him to surprisingly help him at such a dire moment. He was surprised. He did not dare tarry, and he seized the chance to use the outlaw Liangshan Jade pendant to leave the Crystal Dragon Palace. Huyan Shuang was not furious she was unable to kill Yi Futu. She wore a smile, gracefully raising her whips. Any way it was put, Xiang Nongmei was the Flying Star 8-armed Neza, an expert in hidden weapons. Her technique was extremely fast, and her star weapon, the 24 star-slashing flying daggers, emerged from behind her, slashing at Huyan Shuang. One hand held the 3-star fire spear, the 9 songs clinging fire, 2, and her other hand held the Heavenly King Vajra shield. 3-star weapons simultaneously appeared, and 3 dark techniques were cast at the same time. Flying daggers dark rank, vast and endless strikes. 9 songs clinging fire dark rank, windy fire boiling kill. 5, Heavenly King Vajra shield dark rank, 100 beast obstruction. 6, the ranked 64th Flying Star 8-armed Neza's innate skill was handover. She was the only one among Maiden Mountain Star generals that was capable of using 3-star weapon techniques at the same time. Even 9 tattooed dragons' 9-star weapons could not be called forth together simultaneously like this, naturally and unforced. Not only this, but after a dark technique, she could instantly switch to another technique, making her attacks impossible to defend against effectively. This was the formidable aspect of the 8-armed Neza. Huyan Shuang's eyes glinted. Wind and moon unmatched struck down the star-slashing fire daggers one after another and faced the 9 songs clinging fire spear's windy fire boiling kill with complete calm using her whip. Xiang Nongmei already knew that her 3 dark ranks was a waste of energy against a 5 tigers general. 100 beast obstruction defended in front of her, blocking Huyan Shuang's whip attacks. Huyen Shuang's whip attacks could be long or short, and with Xiang Nongmei's 3-star weapons suppressed, by the time the whips drew near, Huyen Shuang indifferently smiled. The whips danced, using her dark rank firework turning into cold. Xiang Nongmei was defeated. Zhang Feng never thought that an apparently spoiled young boss like Xie Chang'an would surprisingly be able to contract with the 5 Tiger General Double Club's Huyen Zhua. As he had a newfound respect for Xie Chang'an, he could not help but say, "Your Highness, Zhang Feng has underestimated you. In the future, we perhaps can honestly ally to face the Purple Thunder monster." Chang'an agrees. Xie Chang'an smiled and retracted the 7 apertures finely exquisite banner. Zhang Feng nodded and also used the jade pendant to escape from this place. Regarding Xiang Nongmei being defeated by Huyen Shuang, on the surface, he did not care much and even acted friendly with Xie Chang'an. To be this shrewd was frightening, and Xie Chang'an chuckled. When double clubs Huyen Zhua emerged, Yi Futu and Zhang Feng were defeated. Long Nu and Huang Mengrui stared cautiously at Xie Chang'an. Ally with the demon kin. Your Highness Chang'an, you are truly audacious. Long Nu apathetically said. Xie Chang'an laughed and scratched his nose. Elder sister Shuang'er, Mengrui would like a battle. Huang Mengrui raised her waterfall dragon cry sword, giggling. Huyen Shuang smiled, as your servant sees it, this is not the place nor time for a star duel, is that not so? Your Highness. Xie Chang'an was taken aback and grunted. On one side, the Purple Thunder monster was trying his hardest to save a desperate situation, and on the other, there was the tyrannically strong White Tiger 7 Spirit Star. Neither of the two sides were partners that were easy to accommodate. Chang'an wonders what the 7th princess feels about Chang'an's idea just now. With the Purple Thunder monster so powerful, this is the perfect chance for us to unite with all the Star Masters present and perhaps eradicate him. Long Nu wrinkled her brow and was about to reply. Huyen Shuang nevertheless seized Xie Chang'an's hand and gracefully smiled. Your Highness, did you forget that we still have other matters? With the barrier broken, we should leave. She straddled her star beast snow-treading black bird and allowed no explanation as she pulled Xie Chang'an on, without giving him a chance to say anything. To Long Nu, this appeared truly domineering, completely unlike the behavior a star general ought to have. If little sister wants to battle, let us discuss after the 3 heavenly books. Huyen Shuang gazed into the distance. Her beautiful eyes mirrored Wu Xiao's cool and elegant disposition. The snow-treading black bird immediately left Long Nu's field of view. The 3 heavenly books then. Huang Mengrui retracted her rapier. Long Nu, what is the matter? She asked. Let us go meet the White Tiger 7 Spirit Stars. Long Nu said and mounted her riding sword. Upon the snow-treading black bird. Xie Chang'an was confused. Shuang'er, what has Chang'an forgotten? Huyen Shang showed a crafty smile. The Crystal Dragon Palace's treasures are innumerable. Now that a great disaster is upon us, in this chaos, Your Highness, what are you still waiting for in this supreme banquet? Xie Chang'an was taken aback and immediately understood her idea. Ha, never expected you would do something like this, Shuang'er. Huyen Shuang brushed aside a lock of black hair by her ear and faintly said. So long as Your Highness lives, what harm is there in this idea? Xie Chang'an relied on the 5 Tigers General Double Club's Huyen Shuang's peerlessly talented wind and moon display to defeat the powerful enemies Yi Futu and Zhang Feng, but the Yan Wudao who possessed the Star General most adept in hidden weapons, Zhang Qing, suffered the first defeat of his life. The Earth Spirit Star Xian Lao of the White Tiger 7 Spirit Stars raised the All Things Bracelet, which left Yan Wudao cutting an extremely sorry figure. The radiant light of the All Things Bracelet restrained the undergoing rebirth flying swords, the 6 Paths Plate, and his other powers one after another, and each of Xian Lao's attack methods were done casually. Furthermore, Maiden Mountain's most expert hidden weapon Star General Agile Star Featherless Arrow Zhang Bailu was considered as having met her nemesis. Xian Lao was using some unknown escape technique. Each of her steps was illusory, able to switch positions in an instant, and it seemed as if she had an eye on her back. No matter how much support she drew from the hidden green bird, no matter how craftily she concealed her weapons, she was completely unable to so much as scratch Xianlao, making Zhang Biluo endlessly frustrated. All things absorb energy. Xianlao suddenly chanted. The all things bracelet's densely patterned light rays suddenly focused. Time seemed to freeze. The jade bracelet spun, emitting countless afterimages. A ray of light fell towards Yan Wudao. This is bad. Yan Wudao immediately sensed danger. Zhang Biluo was extremely unreconciled. Her fingers curled and released to use the dark rank hidden weapon, Hell Has No Road, to strike the All Things bracelet. The All Things bracelet let out a clear, ding, sound. The jade bracelet shook, slowing for a brief moment. Yan Wudao knew this All Things bracelet's might. To be able to take the 6 paths plate, Yan Wudao immediately ordered without hesitation, Biluo, we are leaving. We will meet again. Zhang Biluo bluntly snorted. Space warped, and Yan Wudao and Zhang Biluo left this place. Xianlao beckoned with her hand. The All Things bracelet fell onto her wrist and turned into a sparkling, normal jade bracelet. The woman wordlessly gazed at the crystal dragon palace. Suddenly, her apathetic eyes slightly moved. Her figure sunk into the ground like mud, suddenly disappearing from view. The purple thunder monster's entrance stunned the entire crystal dragon palace and even made the originally slightly dismissive Xuanla Feifei give him a whole new level of respect. This purple thunder monster is somewhat skillful indeed, to surprisingly be able to break the barrier and the array. Xuanla Feifei gasped in surprise. She was well aware of the 24 connecting heaven-ocean settling pearl barriers' might. Even when she was at her prime, she would be unable to break through. Furthermore, for the powerful array trapping star generals to unexpectedly break after his appearance, he honestly was a bit shocked. Mu Wuyu excitedly said that the purple thunder monster had already aroused her interest. Now, she could not wait to kill him. The little sister's words obtained Mu Huiyu's approval. Assassins were inherently supposed to take action at the most loathsome of moments, particularly when Su Xing was fighting on all fronts. To end him just when his power was flourishing would make Mu Wuyu feel a certain kind of satisfied pleasure. Originally, Xuanla Feifei was planning to seek out Kong Ho for a bout. Now, it seemed that this woman was too abnormal. When she faced the Liao Emperor, she was not using full strength at all. The 3 of them were not her opponent. This fairy feels that Chao Gai has some plans for this purple thunder monster. Now is the perfect chance to kill him right under her nose, see how she reacts. Xuanla Feifei nodded. However, that truly is a pity. These little sisters will be upset to death. Mu Wuyu said, vexed. Perhaps this purple thunder monster truly can end the star duels. Mu Huiyu whispered in a sorrowful voice. Xuanla Feifei and Mu Wuyu was stunned. Elder sister, if he truly can change the star duels, then Wuyu will slightly look forward to him killing me. The girl mockingly smiled. Xuanla Feifei turned her head to Mu Qingying and Mu Duang and said, in a moment, you must watch carefully. This is the last thing we can teach you. Mu Qingying coldly spat the word, properly. Mu Duang gazed in the direction of the purple thunder monster with a blank expression, her thoughts unknown to all. Mish Chili shrieked, displaying his true body. His true body was a flaming serpent in a sea of fire. His body was huge, his glossy skin slithering over rolling magma. I will kill you. Qingxi's enormous star energy made Mish Chili harbor one final thought of putting all of his luck into the fight. Mish Chili's eyes were thoroughly red. He opened his maw, spitting out a wide expanse of lava. He then activated a powerful magic weapon, heaven-burning twin swords. These twin swords were refined using 2 of his own fangs. They were imbued with soul-refining flames and were mighty. The 5 snakes burning fire token and heaven-burning twin swords caught the 9 dragons' magic weapons. Mish Chili hissed loudly, Qianrou, too, quickly. His star crest glimmered. A little girl appeared in midair. That girl was delicate and fine. She had long, shapely brows and starry eyes, a white face and fair skin. Her beautiful purple hair was tied into 2 cute ponytails. Her hair was even bound in a butterfly shape. She wore a Western-style, fluffy, 100-pleat skirt. The girl's age did not seem more than about 10, but she had an aura that completely did not match her appearance. Those purple, crystalline pupils innocently blinked. Ferocity immediately appeared in her eyes, yet each and every one of her movements was considerably calm and steady. Qianrou opened her arms. A gorgeous porcelain bottle full of dark purple clouds, with a dragon coiled around it, appeared out of thin air. Purple gold 9 poisons bottle. 3. Song Qingqi and Yue were stunned. How could these two not recognize this star weapon? She was the ranked 92nd prisoner star dry land alligator Zhu Gui. Watch Qianrou use life-demanding soul-seeking miasma, 5, to turn you all into ugly cripples. Qianrou turned the purple gold 9 poisons bottle over, letting out a pervasive fog of purple poison. I will go meet this little sister. Qingqi, you handle that demon snake. Yue mysteriously smiled. Song Qingqi immediately understood. Die. Mish Chili opened his maw to devour Qingqi. The chi flames on his body swelled, just like millions of fire serpents leaping up. Song Qingqi then pointed her hand, and a dragon shadow coiled around her whole body, blocking that maw. Mish Chili used his whole body's magic energy to contest Song Qingqi. In his view, this picturesque woman apparently without any means of defense was merely relying on this 9-dragon seal, nothing more. Perhaps to other cultivators, a purple star astral treasure, the 9-dragon star driving seal, was sufficient to raise them by several levels, but as a white tiger territory demon kin, Mish Chili did not fear it at all. Mish Chili's snake body coiled around, constricting Qingqi. His palms soared, becoming a giant mouth to devour Qingqi. The yellow rank life-demanding soul-seeking miasma that Zhu Qianrou released was formidable. Yue had only just touched it, and her flesh immediately felt searing pain, as if she was melting. This is honestly quite the vicious poison technique. Yue smiled. She suddenly started dashing the moment she landed. Her figure was like a rainbow, the star weapon in her hand like an aurora, splitting the life-demanding miasma in half. Zhu Qianrou was calm and composed, strangely showing an evil smile. This princess is not afraid of you brutes. Saying this, an enormous and gorgeous flower popped out from the purple gold 9 poisons bottle. It blossomed in Zhu Qianrou's surroundings, forming a giant flower petal. The Yue who had drawn close in one move was immediately knocked away by this flower petal. Opening her hand to look at it, her skin was a vaguely purple color. Yue clearly felt that her blood vessels were full of purple poison. The blooming flower Yama is beautiful, is it not? This princess clothes cannot be dirted by a crass elder sister who knows only brute force. Zhu Qianrou licked her lips, for she was only just starting. Dark rank technique? Yue felt her vision blur, and her body slowed considerably. Her heart was slightly impressed with this little sister who was unknown up until now. This poison fog would make a contractor-less star general feel intense pain. Without a star nest, to dispel this poison was very taxing on cultivation, and there was not time to catch her breath during a battle. Yue moved once more, her speed even faster. Flower bloom Yama. The flower of Yama bloomed around Zhu Qianrou. The beautiful purple flower was in full bloom beside the girl, full of an eerily evil beauty. Several moments later, Yue had no choice but concede defeat. Without a star master's aid, to break through this flower of Yama was indeed somewhat thorny, and Qianrou's technique was boundless, not like other star generals who had limits. Sister Qianrou, Yue feels you are absolutely not simple. Why, then, would you sign a contract with the White Tiger Territory's demon kin? Yue warmly asked. Zhu Qianrou's smile vanished. The little girl very surreptitiously twitched her lips, and her purple pupils reflected an eerie glint. She sneered, if elder sister can be this arrogant when she sees that stinking old man, then fine. Is he very strong? Ying could discern that the little sister in front of her was apparently very fearful. It seemed she had been forcefully contracted. Defeat this princess first, then we shall see. Qianrou shouted. The purple gold 9 poisons bottle flipped over. A magnificent poison fog sprayed out. Ying dodged left and right, not at all eager to engage. This made Qianrou exceptionally resentful. This is why this princess is very annoyed by you elder sisters that can only use brute force. A cold wind moved behind her. Qianrou's eyelashes slightly drooped, as if she foresaw it. She showed a triumphant, sinister grin. Just at this moment, a painful scream came from the side. The little loli was surprised, and turning her head to look back, this distraction immediately slowed her, leaving an irrevocable gap. Mish Chili screamed. He rolled on the ground in pain, the flames upon his whole body splashing in all directions like a torrential downpour. Very quickly, their surroundings were of scorching and searing flames. In Qingqiao's surroundings, a tall woman with dark skin appeared. Her hand held a double-sided axe with surging killing intent. Her eyes were baleful and overwhelming. On Mish Chili's lower jaw were 2 deep gouges, injuries she caused. Elder sister, I will hack him to bits. Killer star Li Longkue hefted the bereaved immortal lofty slaughter, flying over with demonic strides. Mish Chili screamed in terror, but it was a pity that he could not easily use the Jade pendant in demon mode. Just as Mish Chili planned to undo his true body, he was already a step too late. Killer Star Black Whirlwind's berserk speed was like her name, swift as a hurricane. A black tornado spun, and her double-headed axe quickly swiped across Mish Chili's body. Dark technique. Wild dance of demons and gods. Pa 6, Li Longkue gloomily stopped her axe. Mish Chili's snake body was already hacked to pieces, a solemn death. Dry land alligator Qianrou vomited blood. With her contractor dead, the little girl sustained heavy injuries. The purple gold 9 poisons bottle fell onto the ground, letting out a clear clattering sound, but Qianrou did not feel distressed like other star generals would when their contractors died. Instead, she laughed. Idiot, this princess even warned you to not sign a contract. Now, you got turned into mincemeat. Ying could hear her sorrow. With an expression of interest, she quietly stood to the side. Qingqi walked over at this moment. Li Longkue wanted to kill the girl, but Qingqi stopped her. Qingqi looked at Qianrou, and her heart sighed as she opened the birth treasure outline. Star position, prisoner star name, Zhu Gui nickname, dry land alligator innate skill, poison miasma 5 elements, fire yellow rank special move, netherworld life demanding miasma dark rank special move, flower blooming Yama earth rank special move, poison dragon swallowing heavenly smoke current status, star nest destroyed, cannot be conquered, detailed materials. Earth rank, Ying was stunned. Suddenly, she noticed that the seemingly weak little sister in front of them surprisingly still had killing intent. If she had not been distracted at the end, perhaps she herself would be the one heavily injured, maybe even dead. It seemed that she had not been forcefully contracted at all. Hey, could you violent bulls kill this princess already? This princess currently can still use her earth rank. Qianrou haughtily said. Qingqi summoned the heavenly star birth banner, hoping to change the situation. The little girl evilly smiled, you really are the leader star. If only this princess had encountered Big Sis first, that would have been good. Chili would not have died either. Forget it, this princess caused him trouble, so this princess will take her own life to accompany him. Qianrou, everyone was somewhat surprised. The other sisters also emerged in succession from Qingqiao's star nest. Qianrou looked back. Those pretty and flirtatious purple eyes saw through the scorching sea of fire, gazing at the far-off booming thunderlights. Then, she very gracefully stood, patting off her ragged 100-pleat skirt and wiping away some blood. She showed the disposition of a proud princess in the dark of night. This princess shall give you elder sisters a warning. Do not seek out that white tiger territory old man. He is very powerful. Without the heavenly books, you will not be able to defeat him. Just let the purple thunder monster and him decimate one another. Is he truly this powerful? Qingqiao skeptically asked. Qianrou grunted. Then, she blinked and earnestly laughed. Are you truly not killing this princess? If you are not, then this princess is leaving. Qingqiao shook her head. Liangshan only obeyed Qingqiao's words and retracted her baleful aura. None of the other sisters could make the killing blow. After all, they were all sisters. Furthermore, although prisoner star dry land alligator Qianrou assumed a princess arrogant attitude, she was fundamentally not so horrid. Without her star nest, Qianrou could not last for too long. Her indestructible body would return to Maiden Mountain. This princess will first go properly bury Chili. After all, he did look after this princess in the White Tiger territory. Qianrou smiled and said. She skipped about, and all of the girls quietly watched her. At the instant Qianrou passed Liangshan, suddenly, when no one could have anticipated it, Qianrou's eyes abruptly emitted a powerful and evil fury. The girl screeched, leaping forth. Her hands burned with raging poison fog as she scratched at Liangshan. But Qianrou did not injure Black Whirlwind at all. The killer star's innate skill loss of pain perception made her attack completely ineffective. The casual Liangshan did not need orders. The martial general instinctively attacked, cutting Qianrou down into the earth. No matter what, this princess will take revenge, Qianrou smiled happily. As she lost consciousness, her pupils lost focus. Her arrogance turned increasingly empty, and in the end, she completely vanished. In her dreamland, Qianrou seemed to remember that scene from when she first met Miss Chili. The Qianrou of back then had rushed about, inadvertently reaching the White Tiger territory, facing the White Tiger territory's terrifying dangers, leaving her somewhat at wit's end. In the sea of fire, that nondescript man then said to her, "Let me protect you in this place." Her breathing becoming gradually heavier, Humi was already covered in cuts and bruises. She relied on her strong willpower to prop herself up and not fall over. Arcs of electricity jumped about her body. Her clothes were already in tatters, her white arms covered in wounds. Blood dripped along her fingertips onto the ground. The dripping was a hopeless sound. But the girl was not at all hopeless. "You still do not flee? Are you still waiting for this old man to use the good fortune prayer mat?" Li Taisui gently fanned himself, speaking leisurely. Compared to Humi, he was a completely different person. "If this old man actually uses the good fortune prayer mat, you will certainly regret it," Li Taisui heedlessly said. "As expected, Humi is not your opponent." Humi panted, irritating the wounds over her body. Other than the Supreme Ultimate Diagram, she had practically used every trick she had and was unable to bring Li Taisui even the slightest bit of a threat. By contrast, the old man's attitude was easy, strolling through the courtyards, completely not using his full strength. Humi felt that these ninth-star duels truly were abnormal. Humph. Guardian star Su Jingshu raised her golden lance and jumped high. That divine spear in her hand dropped down, wrapped in power that could break a mountain. "Jingshu!" Humi called out, not daring to be slow. Dark star blue-faced beast Zijin held her extreme vast blue emperor saber in one hand. She raised her face, and her bangs were lifted by the spear's wind, revealing her bestial birthmark. Although her battle with Wu Xiao had cost her full power, Li Taisui used his powerful star energy to already restore the dark star to perfect condition. Clang clang. Sparks scattered everywhere. Yang Zijin caught Su Jingshu's attack. Her leg kicked, and the earth caved in. Soaring upwards, Yang Zijin's assault was like an animal on the hunt. When she attacked, her attack was fatally fierce. Blue saber light passed by. Su Jingshu's armor then caught the extreme vast blue emperor saber. Watch this. Su Jingshu shouted, and she raised her spear and stabbed. A crackling, unstoppable gust rolled up, completely disintegrating the true qi surrounding Yang Zijin. The woman who was apathetic as a flower was unmoved. She stepped in midair, and her figure vanished from under the spear. Su Jingshu raised her head. Yang Zijin already appeared several meters above her. Blue-faced beast rode the sail, falling towards Su Jingshu. Su Jingshu charged all of the star energy in her body. Yang Zijin disappeared then reappeared, flitting about instantaneously during her descent. Her speed instantly accelerated to a degree that Su Jingshu did not anticipate. Su Jingshu said to herself, "Oh, shit." The dark star finally showed her fangs. She extended a hand, dazzling Su Jingshu's eyes. The extreme vast blue Emperor Saber's saber chi then wrapped around Su Jingshu, turning into dragon fangs that ground up the guardian star. Astonishingly, this was her dark rank saber technique Heavenly Dragon in Dance. Her armor glowed brightly. Su Jingshu relied on her innate skill to barely resist, but the Dark Star's star energy realm was clearly higher than hers, already near true Phoenix realm. Regardless of reactions, actions, strength, or speed, her continuous slashes made Su Jingshu collapse onto the ground. Compared to Humi's injuries, she herself was no better. Humi wanted to intervene, but Li Taisue's lightning obstructed her. She could only call out. Death before dishonor is a great feeling. Su Jingshu laughed and charged fearlessly forward. Yang Zijin gently shook her head, maintaining her negative attitude. The girl took a knee, suddenly swinging the blue Emperor saber. Their silhouettes passed by another. Su Jingshu gasped, finally falling into the star nest. Yang Zijin sheathed her saber, her black and white skirt untainted by even a speck of dust. "You still will not leave." Yang Zijin spoke, a voice like waves, beautiful and slow. When she finished speaking, Yang Zijin stopped her steps. She looked at her shoulder and noticed her shirt had a hole torn in it. Blood dribbled out, staining her immaculate clothes red. Humi inwardly sneered. She did not expect that Su Jingshu would only be able to graze the dark star ever so slightly. It seems this old man cannot show mercy. Li Taisue's eyes released a stern glint, and his fan tapped. A blinding arc of lightning struck. Humi retreated. Her face still maintained a hopeful smile. "Senior ought to have already done so." "You really do not fear death?" "Humi is afraid of death." Humi was calm, but there is a man who loves to play the hero who saves the beauty. Humi is waiting for him. Li Taisui sneered. Suddenly, his fan shook. A violent thunderbolt struck. With a bang, it completely knocked Humi's incoming flying swords aside. Humi's expression changed. This old man was also capable of powerful abilities, for her Supervoid flying swords were incapable of resisting. Humi promptly wanted to retreat, but Li Taisue's swift killing move had only just begun. The lightning that flew over suddenly seized her body, digging into Humi like claws. In that instant, searing pain made the fox of voracious admiration nearly lose consciousness, but Humi grit her teeth. If she fainted, then she would inevitably die. Humi used all of her magic energy to receive this blow and retreat backwards. She immediately thought of using the Jade pendant, but the incoming lightning rolled once more, not giving her any chance. Humi's body suffered this attack heavily. Her muscles and bones all crumbled as she powerlessly flew backwards. "You are too arrogant, this old man shall give you a lesson in regret." Li Taisue's pupils were like a beast's, full of viciousness. He opened his mouth, and a beast of lightning galloped forth, instantly descending upon Humi's head like an executioner's blade. Fong of the Thunder Beast. Just at this moment, purple thunder crackled and flocked from behind Humi, appearing to clash with the Thunder Beast head-on. Lightning exploded, and thunderbolts jumped in the surroundings, shattering everything. A figure appeared behind Humi. The girl felt her originally limp and powerless body be propped up by a sturdy chest. Instantly, she was filled with a feeling of safety. You actually came. Humi giggled. Su Xing held Humi Purple Mansion Immortal Thunder attacked, but against the head of the White Tiger Seven Spirits, the Li Taisui who was similarly an expert in thunder magic, Purple Mansion Immortal Thunder was completely unable to last for too long before being shredded by the Thunder Beast. The leftover arcs of lightning still pursued them. Combine. Su Xing ordered. The 12 wide heavenly abyss swords clattered together like shields, combining without showing any cracks, finally stopping the Thunder Beast, but when the powerful surplus energy slammed against the flying swords, the life-caste-linked contractor, Su Xing, still felt very pained. After the wave of powerful lightning passed, the Crystal Dragon Palace was practically reduced to a tenth of its original size. The interior treasures were all destroyed, and the other cultivators stared dumbstruck. Already no longer daring to spectate, they scattered in succession. So you must be that purple thunder monster. Li Taisui sized Su Xing up, showing a bit of interest. And you must be that old man. Su Xing chuckled. The Humi against her chest smirked, but this action aggravated her whole body painfully. Why save Humi? Humi is your enemy. Humi asked in a low voice. I didn't want to save you at all, but since this White Tiger 7 Spirit Star is the enemy, we can ally for the time being. Besides, I know you have a supreme ultimate diagram. Su Xing said bluntly. Su Xing had sensed Li Taisui's power from very far away. Compared to him, this old man was truly a villain. Looking with seeing clearly. His nearly supervoid late-stage cultivation was simply unbelievable. Could he break through to transforming Star of Annihilation by revealing his true body? This was the first time that Su Xing had such a feeling of defeat. This old man was far more outrageous than he. Wu Xiao, Zhang Yuqi, Yan Yizhen, Hun Yangzi, Hua Wanyue and the others were already incapable of further battle. Right now, Su Xing needed to ally for enough fighting strength, and the Purple Firmament Immortal Palace's Humi was the best choice. Regardless of her cultivation or her star general, she was well known among the star masters of the star duels. The Supreme Ultimate Diagram magic weapon was even more capable of facing off against him, and with her aid against the Thunder Old Man, they would be like tigers that grew wings. An alignment of interests is normal. Humi smiled. However, Humi is currently unable to use the Supreme Ultimate Diagram. Just as Su Xing was about to say something, a jealous voice suddenly entered his ear. Lord Husband, just how long will you hold this beauty? Zhao Hanyan already rushed over, seemingly smiling. Su Xing was startled, only then noticing from Zhao Hanyan's warning that he was being too dubious with Humi. The girl lay limply against his chest, and one of his arms was even wrapped around her slender waist. And because of her battle with Li Taisui, Humi's whole body was covered in wounds, her light purple immortal skirt already utterly frayed. That her jade-colored bodice exposed the underside of her breasts was extremely audacious. From Su Xing's overlooking viewing angle, her perky snow-white peaks and deep cleavage were completely visible to him. This scene was honestly very sensual. However, what sort of person was Su Xing? He possessed more than a dozen star general wives, so he was already immune to such stunning beauty. Su Xing said, Han Yan, how could she ever compare to you? Saying this, Su Xing imbued a ray of true qi into Humi and afterwards handed her off to Ensuan to heal. To badmouth Humi right in front of her, Humi had even thought that you were very knowledgeable about romance. Humi indifferently said. An ice-cold figure blocked between Humi and Su Xing. Lin Yingmei separated them, clearly very uncomfortable with this woman. Humi smiled. She wanted to say something, but Lin Yingmei already shifted her gaze onto Li Taisui. Young master, allow your servant to meet him first. Lin Yingmei gripped the 5-star Arctic Star Serpent Spear restlessly. Yingmei, we'll go together. Su Xing had hardly finished speaking when the two of them tacitly united. The 36 immemorial flying swords' lights were like rainbows. Purple Mansion Immortal Thunder and the Meditative Mind Lotus Flower were activated in succession. Su Xing borrowed innate skills to rush forth, to kill the enemy in a spurt of energy. Yang Zijin moved at the same time, quickly obstructing Lin Yingmei with her extreme speed. The Arctic Star Serpent Spear and the extreme Vast Blue Emperor Saber clashed. Yang Zijin immediately sensed strength that far surpassed the Guardian Stars. Yang Zijin did not dare be careless, easily using her yellow rank, Tooth Extraction. Saber light suddenly slashed. Lin Yingmei caught it with the end of her spear shaft and then twirled her spear. So you are the one who injured Xiao? Your servant will show no mercy. Lin Yingmei said coldly during their battle. Same here. Yang Zijin calmly answered. The immediate reply was majestic Star Panther head Lin Yingmei's cold and absolutely peerless spearmanship. This old man actually wants to see what virtue and ability can make the majestic star follow you. Li Taisui moved his fan. Several thunder beasts appeared in succession. When each of his abilities surprisingly died out with the thunder beasts, Su Xing's divine intent secretly seized the four-symbol seal. His blood shadow escape technique rose, closing in to Li Taisui's side. The old man appeared very clear about Su Xing's frightening points, and Li Taisui then tapped his fan. A thunderclap burst out from his fingers, like a sharp sword piercing through. Su Xing used Purple Mansion Immortal Thunder to block. It was unexpectedly unable to defend, and he was pushed several hundred meters back. Purple Thunder Monster, your cultivation is still too shallow. You wish to face this old man by yourself? Li Taisui chuckled derisively. There is also us. Voices full of killing intent flew in from the sky. Gong Kaiwei, Long Nu, Lu Xiao, and the others rushed over in succession. This group surrounded Li Taisui. Including Su Xing's beauty, this extensive battle formation made the other cultivators dumbfounded. It seems your women really are numerous. Hu Mi's mocking voice rang in the silence. Shower is not one of his wives, but neither does she want to take advantage of his troubles. Jade Qilin Lu Xiao raised both of her hands to show her innocence. Sitting atop her Qilin beast, she made clear that she did not want to join in. Everyone could understand. As Maiden Mountain's #1 Marshal General, even if the Strength Star directly confronted a Star Master, she would always disdain to kill the contractor first. This was a pride passed down over 1,000 years. The others would not be so soft-hearted, especially Ling Yan Princess Xiao Hanyan, who had been defeated the first time by Li Taisui. She wanted to avenge Junqing. Without any hesitation, everyone used their sword chance. More than 100 flying swords were simultaneously unleashed. Li Taisui's eyebrows rose, showing slight surprise. He never expected this legendary purple thunder monster who angered gods and men alike would surprisingly receive the coordination of other Star Masters, and the cultivations of each of these Star Masters were all Supervoid stage. Compared to his White Tiger 7 Spirit Stars, they surprisingly did not lose out in the slightest. Interesting. Li Taisui thought to himself. He did not dare be indolent. His hand gripped the fan and waved it. From the center of the white paper, more than 100 lightning bolts entangled the flying swords. To be able to contend against all of these flying swords with his own power alone, this old man who was the head of the White Tiger 7 Spirit Stars clearly had some background, Su Xing thought to himself. He did not dare be careless. If all of this was the case, then this was far from enough. His divine intent moved, and the already prepared 4 symbols seal flew out. The jade seal suddenly expanded, glowing with bright white light as it unleashed the holy beast White Tiger True Spirit. The white tiger roared, ferociously pouncing. The powerful spiritual pressure made Li Taisui's incoming lightning bolts completely fall apart before they could reach the white tiger, and Zhao Hanyan and the others were like Su Xing. They knew that Li Taisui was unfathomable, choosing this chance to strike a fatal blow in a single rush. Zhao Hanyan activated the yin-yang bracelet, Xiyu used the dual modes ruler, and Long Nu also put all of her strength into using her powers. A good trick. Li Taisui said praised them indifferently, nonchalantly changing his pace. Two of his fingers closed together. He chanted. A ball of thunderlight appeared out of thin air that hovered above Li Taisui's head. After the thunderball jumped about the surroundings with a crackle, it spun extremely quickly. Each revolution seemed to suck in the spiritual power hanging in the air. It released a curtain of thunder, and within a second, the thunderball had spun more than 100 times, and its form had increased several times in size. 100 beams of light instantly expanded, flooding the buildings of the Crystal Dragon Palace, becoming an indescribable scene of thunder and lightning. Careful! Su Xing warned loudly. This is... Zhao Hanyan was astonished. A force that was unexpectedly powerful beyond compare was transmitted through Li Taisui's technique. Purple Thunder Monster, this old man wonders whether or not you can block this old man's thunder moves 9 worlds. Li Taisui slightly smiled, and his fingers parted. With a crash, the thunderball suddenly expanded. 10,000 zhang of lightning splashed over the entire area. Zhao Hanyan and the others were continuously pushed back by this scorching thunderclap's power. Their connections to their attacking magic weapons were surprisingly all cut by the thunder light. Li Taisui pointed, and one bolt of thunder became an enormous beast that filled the heavens, lunging towards Su Xing, its giant mouth open. This kind of universally shocking technique did not lose out at all to a Star General's Heaven-Earth Dark Yellow skill. Su Xing immediately struck a hand seal. Instant frost flame surrounded him, freezing space to ward off the rolling thunder light. Just as thunder moves 9 worlds tyrannically rolled over, at this moment, a storm suddenly rose. This green hurricane flew out from behind Su Xing, colliding with the thunder light. An inconceivable scene happened. The powerful thunder and lightning lasted merely a moment before they were completely devoured by the green hurricane. Su Xing looked. This was not a green hurricane at all. This was clearly nothing more than a countless number of essence-swallowing dragons. In the blink of an eye, Li Taisui's lightning had vanished into thin air. The old man was shocked. Everyone subconsciously cast a glance over. A gentle girl dressed in blue and white palace garb currently pointed her delicate finger. Her bright eyes showed a slightly pained expression, but she did not want to concede defeat in the slightest. She was none other than efficacious Star and Suan. Essence-swallowing dragons. Li Taisui recognized the identity of this storm, the astonishing legendary demonic lifeforms that could consume the 5 spirits. Even Li Taisui had only heard about them in rumors. He never thought this kind of terrifying animal would appear in the efficacious Star's hands. To be clear, essence-swallowing dragons were born from consuming essence qi. If the essence qi was not pure, they would self-destruct. They were very difficult to raise. And the essence-swallowing dragons before them were completely clear and limpid. Their green lights were like rainbows, their essence qi pure, valuable beasts that were surprisingly hard to come by. However, to control nearly 10,000 essence-swallowing dragons was extremely taxing on Ansuan's divine intent. Efficacious Star and Suan's eyes that did not concede defeat made Li Taisui praise her. The girl's delicate voice broke out of her throat. The essence-swallowing dragons became green clouds that flew towards him. Li Taisui continuously released several thunder amulets ineffectively into the swarm of essence-swallowing dragons. Seeing his thunder magic lose their usefulness, it was at this moment a bright jade bracelet appeared out of thin air. It released bright light that completely trapped the essence-swallowing dragons. The mud beside Li Taisui transformed into a wonderful human shape. She was none other than Earth Spirit Xian Lao. Xian Lao, you have come. The old man smiled. Xian Lao nodded. Her hand rose. The earth beneath Su Xing's feet cracked open, and a mountain broke out of the ground, sending the group flying high. Once again, they used the sword chant and magic weapons. At the same time, the four symbols seal manifested the black turtle, vermilion bird and azure dragon. Immediately, they attacked the All Things bracelet. Outer Void Flying Immortals Sword Array. Cold Ice Snow Soul Sword Array. Heavenly Paradise Water Moon Sword Array. Ocean Settling Divine Needle Sword Array. The four great beauties Zhao Hanyan, Gong Kaiwei, Shiyu, and Long Nu all used their sword chants at the same time. Zhao Hanyan's flying swords manifested their absolutely stunning true spirit sword immortals, descending from the 9 firmaments and encircling Li Taisui. Gong Caiwei's flying swords were white lights of ice and snow, creating the scene of a frozen world. Shiyu and Long Nu also used each of their abilities. The former's flying swords were like the reflection of the moon in water, unclear whether it was real or fake. The sword array of unclear reality immediately covered the world. Long Nu also used all of her power. The flying swords became 24 ocean-settling divine needles. Each of the ocean-settling divine needles' sword chi turned into chains, fastening around one in particular. Su Xing did not neglect anything. His 36 immemorial flying swords each turned into golden dragons, green pythons, and a giant mountain. Their powers were not inferior to the girls' sword arrays. Taisui. This scene made Xi and Lao slightly moved. Li Taisui was neither hasty nor slow. He wore a kindly grin, not bad, not bad. This is a star master worthy of this old man's gaze. He spat out a mouthful of clear chi. An unremarkable prayer mat flew out. This prayer mat's appearance was plain and simple, completely without luster, without power, nor any waves of spiritual power whatsoever. It was nothing more than a prayer mat. In their fields of view, a mass from the times of primal chaos formed, and those terrific sword arrays surprisingly completely vanished. Everyone was shocked. The good fortune prayer mat. Humi shouted. The good fortune prayer mat's appearance shocked everyone, and Emperor Liang and the others who fought Northern Darkness as fish stopped one after another, looking in astonishment towards this #1 magic weapon of the spirit sealing list. When the good fortune prayer mat appeared, Li Taisui's surroundings were enveloped in endless primal chaos. Su Xing, Zhao Hanyan, and the rest's coordinated assault became nothingness. Even spirit treasures the likes of the four symbols seal were devoid of their power. The four great holy beasts were completely returned to primal chaos. Northern Darkness has fish snorted. The 3 clarities banner waved, and the 3 doppelgangers broke free of Long Wanxin and the others. One controlled a supreme sword chant, one used the most high indifference, and one used the extreme clarity immortal light. Without consulting one another, the doppelgangers mounted a sneak attack on Su Xing. The Most High Path's #1 cultivator was also the Azure Dragon Territory's Supervoid Peak cultivator. Emperor Liang and Long Wanxin were temporarily unable to obstruct him. As a star master, this old man is breaking the rules a bit. Kong Ho was above, witnessing the scene before her as she spoke to Chao Gai, who refrained from entering the battle. Just what is the matter with the White Tiger Territory's star master? Chai Ling at this time also came to ask. Behind her was also Gu Tong. Gu Tong gazed at Su Xing's side with a nervous expression. She had originally thought of going to help Su Xing, but she was pulled back by Chai Ling, who said that without a star nest, Gu Tong should not interfere in a battle between these abnormal star masters, so as to avoid self-destructing herself. Queen Noble's star very clearly indicated she was not afraid of Gu Tong's star falling, but she was afraid that Su Xing would be distracted. This female tiger was quite speechless. The White Tiger Territory has had star masters since the first star duels began. Some demonkin received the imprint of the star duels and became star masters. Because only those with a complete human form can sign a contract and possess a star nest, they only finally appeared during the 9th generation. Chao Gai explained. Just what demon beast is this old man? How is he so powerful? Gu Tong asked. Judging by his thunder magic, he should be categorized as a thunder spirit type of demon beast. Kong Ho thought. From her extensive reading of books, she knew much about the White Tiger Territory. Thunder spirit demon beasts are myriad, but your servant honestly cannot recall one like him. Will Maiden Mountain not manage this? Chai Ling charmingly covered her lips. The 9th star duels. The mysterious and inexorable have their own factors. Chao Gai matter-of-factly answered. Chai Ling sneered. But then what do the Overlord trials count as? Chao Gai smiled and said, if he cannot pass even this level of ordeal, then how can he be able to achieve the wish? Chai Ling gasped. It sounded as if Chao Gai stood on Su Xing's side. This Overlord trial thing made Gu Tong puzzled, but she could discern that Su Xing had apparently met with Maiden Mountain's hostility. Just what is happening? Female Tiger worriedly asked. Can the star duels truly be ended? Kong Ho stretched herself. Up until now, Maiden Mountain has never even said why we star duel. And now it seems that the previous Overlord have become nothing more than Maiden Mountain's tools, reduced to a trace of ridiculous true spirit. Just what is Maiden Mountain, Chao Gai, why not tell us directly? The girl indifferently said, her expressions nevertheless very dissatisfied. Chao Gai wanted to say something but stopped. In the end, she still shook her head. If you can ascend Maiden Mountain, you will naturally understand. To know now would merely be a burden. Humph. This old lady, oh, big sister Chao Gai, may I ask a question? Gu Tong raised her hand, cautiously speaking. What do you wish to ask? Is there a limit of 15 star generals who can ascend Maiden Mountain? Gu Tong swallowed. Chai Ling also stared at the 1000 Buddha star, her eyes concealing slight worry. This palace also does not know about this. However, since there is the 7 stars assembly, there naturally will be its own logic. Chao Gai's dubious words made Chai Ling displeased. Just as they were about to speak, a sudden change occurred at this time. Li Taisui raised a prayer mat, and then a lump of primal chaos wrapped up the surroundings. The scene inside immediately became nothingness. Such a powerful magic weapon. This is never before seen in Liangshan continent. Chai Ling uncomfortably gazed at Kong Ho. As if Kong Ho did not understand Little Whirlwind's worried thoughts about her lover, but she absolutely would not meddle in the star duel's affairs, even if she herself had quite a favorable impression of Su Xing. She did not want to favor anyone in particular. However, your humble servant actually can help him first settle a few minor inconveniences. To have him alone sort out the entire Crystal Dragon Palace's aftermath is indeed quite difficult for him. A bottle of wine suddenly appeared in her hand as Kong Ho smiled somewhat drunkenly. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.